There's no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down, and I came here for one reason: to attack and keep coming.
I did this for the rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, or you would be born alive.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what you gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! Fire! I won't ride in nothing but limousines, and I won't make love to nothing but the women of the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime. Woo!
Sweet. My belly's just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
Beat me if you can survive, if I let you.
Orderly!
Woo! It is Rolex time, Poker Raven.
You just made the list!
Who you beat, brother?
Did you dig that, sucker? I am the game!
The whole show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
You son of a bitch! Brock Lesnar! Damn!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, you didn't know? I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace.
Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat out, straight up, lying, crying bitch.
Baby, look at me. Mama love you. And I know you ain't no little boy no more, but you'll always be my baby. It seems like only yesterday I was holding you in my arms. Now look at you now, big one. But I worry about you. I worry about you all the time. Hanging out on the corner all times of night with the cool people. Baby, that ain't nothing but trouble. I always taught you that you could have whatever you dream. Dream, baby. Dream, baby. Hold on to it real tight. Cause the sky's the limit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight?
All right.
I'd like to welcome to the stage the lyrically acclaimed. I like this young man because when he came out with the phrase, he went from ashy to classy.
All right.
I like that.
All right.
So everybody in the house, give a warm round of applause for the notorious B.I.G. The notorious B.I.G., ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him, y'all. A nigga never been as broke as me. I like that. When I was young, I had 2 pair of leaves. Besides that, the pinstripes and the gray. The one I wore on Mondays and Wednesdays. While niggas flirt, I'm throwing tigers on my shirt and alligators. You want to see the inside? I see you later. They come the nigga with the fake. Wow. Nigga with the fake. Wow. Why you punch me in my face? Stay in your place. Play your position.
All right. What is going on, everybody? It's Wednesday night. We got the Dirt Sheet Dudes. I am Boxman. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. Of course, and of course, we got Smark over there. What's up, Smark?
Ooh, what's going on?
And there you go. We got the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you guys for that.
That's
fantastic.
right.
In life, loving life. I can't think of a better place to be right. Well, pussy, but you got, second best. Second place is all right.
Yeah, and of course, if you didn't hear the voice in the background, the smooth sounds of Bobby Anthony are here also. What's up, Bobby?
Man, I came here for the celebration of Double A, and I was thinking, man, if he's Double A and if we are the Four Horsemen, which one am I? Am I like Paul Roma? Steve Mongo McMichael?
No, you're Wyndham, man. You're like the best little, you're like one of the best parts of it that people remember.
I'll be there with him. I like that, man. But yeah, hell yeah, dude. Happy birthday to Anthony, man. And I can always tell when Anthony made the musical selection, too, man. It's always an iconic rapper, usually one who is no longer with us, who Anthony was too young to appreciate during their prime. So, yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
Either that or just no guitar. No wailing guitar.
That's
unless it's sample.
True.
That's a classic. That one we just played, man. Sky's the Limit. One of my all-time favorite songs.
Well, Chris Rock once said the limit's the sky. So, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. and if before we kind of get into the swinging thing, Bobby, once again, just thank you for hopping on tonight. I tell you this all the time, man. Whatever you lend your voice to, you lend a certain level of credibility and class. And I'm glad that you donate that time, that voice to this show, man. Every time. Appreciate you.
I honestly do appreciate that, man. I'm humbled. I mean, I know you have told me that several times before, and I'm humbled every time I hear it, man. Honestly, I don't know how to accept that, but I do appreciate you saying that.
Definitely, man. Always good to have you on, Bobby. For as long as you're going to hang out tonight, definitely want you hanging as long as you can. And I don't know. It's Anthony's birthday. We've got balloons keep popping up on Skype. I think they stopped. There they go right there. There they go. We have balloons. They're all colors. They keep popping up on Skype. So, Anthony, what else can we do but play you another song, I guess. Here we go.
Today is your birthday, it's all about you. Today is your birthday, go and act a fool. Today is your birthday, what you gonna do? I'm gonna celebrate all day, me too. Today is your birthday, it's all about you. Today is your birthday, go and act a fool. Today is your birthday, what you gonna do? I'm gonna celebrate all day, me too. Today is my birthday, what you gonna give me? I'm headed to the club, baby, come party with me. Let's make a toast, why? It's a celebration. The day that I was born, show me love, stop hating. I get that cake, I get that cream. Today I don't stress, I just stay fresh and clean. Walk with a lean, show that birthday swagger. Collect that money, baby, nothing else matters. Put on a fresh fit and some...
All right, that's enough. I just wanted to play some of that for you.
Let me find out Foxman at the house all day listening to trap music. No, his birthday keeps getting better and better.
No, I found that, jumped on YouTube, popped in happy birthday hip hop, and bam, look what popped up. I did that while watching AEW. God damn it, I'll tell you now. I don't have time for that shit. Okay.
Fair enough.
But I thought of you. That's good. It's a thought that counts, right?
Oh, always. Before we kind of while I had Bobby on, fun little hip hop story that's actually tied in with wrestling. I sent you guys a fun little clip the other day. Remember, Bobby, you remember a wrestler by the name of the Warlord?
Yeah, of course.
So apparently, in the early 2000s, he was a bodyguard for 50 Cent.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, and he tells, and they got caught up. They got caught up in the shootout, and it's the craziest shit ever. Box, please tell me you got the clip queued up.
I do. I do, Anthony.
This made my fucking week, bro. The fucking Warlord of all people. And this is picture this is like 2003-4 reign at the height of 50 Cent Mania.
Right.
Now, Warlord works out at one of my friends in Florida works out at the same gym as him. He said this guy comes in there all the time. He's a fucking beast. And there you go. So anyway,
I was gonna say, man, from what I hear, he's still in ridiculous shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah. He's from what I've seen, he's still in pretty damn good shape. So
Oh, by the way, this interview is courtesy of Hannibal TV.
Yes.
Anybody that cares.
Yes, it is. Here we go.
As far as your years doing security, what was the most dangerous situation you've ever been involved with that you're kind of lucky to have survived?
Probably when I was with 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, bodyguarding him for a while. We were down in Manhattan. All of a sudden, out of the blue, we were driving, and he says, "I want to pull over into this." He was always in a bulletproof truck all the time, and we'd all be behind him and that stuff, you know. And he wanted to pull into this the biggest hip hop building down there, goes everywhere around the whole East Coast. So he was just out of the blue. He wanted to show up there and surprise everybody. So we went there. So we're sitting there waiting for him to come on. As we look down, we see all these cars are pulling along the curb because he's on the air right now. You know, got their spinners going, everything else and that stuff, you know. We see this SUV down a little ways. We kind of get out to kind of go take a look. You can see them come out. You can see they got some guns in their hand. So we said, "Oh, man, we got to change everything with Curtis coming out quick, you know, with 50, you know." So we told him when he comes out, we're going to just pull up, jump in, we're gone. We're not going to stay. We're gone quick. So he came in, boom, boom, we're gone. We're going through the tunnel. And I'll tell you what, you don't want to get between us because the drivers we had, they'll just crush your car. They didn't let no one get in the way. Boom, they don't care if they mark your car up, whatever, they don't care. We got to the hotel that night. It was out in wasn't Newark, but it was in New Jersey, just on the other side of the river. And we just got to the hotel. We got 50 into the room. We were just getting ready to set outside. Also, some gunshots went off in the distance, shooting at us. You could hear it. So we just all got behind the SUV that was, bulletproof. Got behind that and just waited out. They shot, I think there was a total of 15 shots they took. You know, they shot it with handguns, so it was a ways away. So, you know, it's not so accurate with handguns, you know. It would have been rifles, it would have been different. And so after it was all done, we went back inside the hotel at the time. And the police came, and of course the police came that night. And we got 50 after it happened. We got 50 in the truck. They took all of them up. We don't even know where they even took them because they don't even want us to know in case something happened. They don't want even us to know. So next day we all met up because we're going to California the next day to start a music video. And we go ahead, we get to the airport and the next day in JFK to fly over. Next thing you know, here comes up the FBI, here comes New York police, the state police. We got about 40 cops coming up to us. And there's a guy we're going to escort to the gate. I'm like, wow. Got to the gate, took off, got to California that early that next morning. And next day I get up, I look on TV and it says, capture the bottom, 50 Cent shot at, blah, 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 that stuff, it just came on that about what happened and all that stuff, Yeah, that was pretty crazy that night.
Any idea who tried to shoot at him?
A couple. Of course, in hip hop, there's always a lot of beef amongst artists, always. I mean, that's another crazy business. It really is. Ja Rule was just down the street a couple miles, I heard, and he had a beef with Lil' Kim. That was another one. That's another one that we had a beef in when we were in England. He was getting a whole bunch from where we were that road, 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 from where we were that night. So that's my feeling.
Thank you. This fucking rat. This snitching son of a bitch. Don't be naming names. Be like, no, man, I got a couple ideas, but I ain't gonna fuck.
He had a beef with little. 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 He had a beef with Lil' Kim.
Oh, little.
Am I awake right now, man? Are you sure? Am I not dreaming, or are you all fucking with me right now? This is reality.
Fellas, please, let's just take a moment to absorb the greatness. We just heard the fucking Warlord talking about 50 Cent, Ja Rule, and Lil' Kim.
You know, he had a lot of enemies. So the block was hot.
And remember, you didn't want to fuck with us. He was good at saying that one. All the other shit was not good. But great story, though. Great story. But what a snitching little son of a bitch. Snitches get stitches.
I would have loved to hear the Warlord say, well, Hannibal, snitches get stitches. So.
And I love the part when he was just like, yeah, little Kim, her people want to come to the table, but no, you ain't want to mess with us. they just casually backed away from that table.
Oh, shit.
Fucking rat. God damn it. God damn you, Warlord, just telling names, talking out of school and shit.
Dude, if there's a guide, we will get a Little C's rebuttal at some point.
That was fantastic. But I felt like that gave Ja Rule a little more credibility than he deserved. I mean, okay, he knew some people in the streets, but Ja Rule was pretty far removed. Oh, you couldn't have paid me enough to run with 50 Cent in 2003 at that time. He was still too closely connected to the streets, and there were obviously still too many people who wanted a piece of him. But Little Kim was also connected to the streets still, So as funny as it was to hear him say that, it's not out of the question that it could have been somebody connected to Little Kim, but it probably wasn't, man. There's a whole phone book, like an old 1980s phone book worth of people who wanted to fucking take shots at 50 Cent at that time.
A Rolodex, if you will.
There you go.
Yeah.
Turned his back on a lot of people when he got famous, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, did you guys, I guess while we're talking about it, if we wanted to prolong talking about what we actually talk about for as long as possible, which is my goal, did you guys see his latest beef? Or beef?
Oh, God.
Yes.
What's the latest?
He, I don't know if you guys have been reading the headline. I feel like it's late night talk shows. Will Smith has been in the news a lot lately. He kept subtly needling him on Twitter, where he was like, "That's fucked up, man. If you ever need anything, I got you." And he's just like, "Thanks, 50." And he's like, "Yeah, man. Like, I can't believe that. Like, your wife was like fucking your son's friend. Like, that's crazy." And he just kept going on and on. And then at one point, Will just writes him back, "Fuck you." And he's like, "Fuck me. What did I do?" I'm like, he started shit on purpose. Like, he was so clearly going after him. It was amazing. I will go ahead and dig up your article, but it was interesting.
That's shitty, but kind of entertaining.
and also, please, can somebody reach out to Will? Because I actually did watch that little red table gimmick with Jada, and man, you ain't seen. I don't care how many times you laughed at all. If you the memes, have you guys seen the memes going around?
Yeah.
That look, that's the look of a broken man. I don't give a fuck what nobody says.
Yeah,
that man's hurt.
I thought it had been common knowledge for a very long time. Well, from what I understood, I don't know if there were rumors, but I thought they had an open situation going between the two of them, because I thought it was pretty common knowledge that they both kind of had like stables of people they were fucking around with.
I mean, I heard it in and out. I heard those rumors, but my whole issue with this whole situation is like, look, what goes on in that marriage goes on in that marriage.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of irritated if this were the other way around, right? And it was Will, if it was some chick that came out and said, yeah, me and Will had some going on, and it was kind of portrayed in the media that he had manipulated a young girl who didn't know no better, the narrative would be a whole lot different. It wouldn't be no big ups and hey, you go, Will. They be dragging this dude, man. I done seen a bunch of shout outs. You go, girl. Nah, man, that's bullshit, man.
There's definitely double standards.
Yeah, I ain't like that.
Go ahead, Smarky. You got the article.
Yeah, I posted the article. I will go. I can read some exchanges, but just gotta buy time while that flows. I do agree that it is definitely a double standard. I was seeing like I saw people like posting pictures of the guy and was like, well, can you blame him? I'm like, yeah. If you guys didn't in fact have an open relationship, like, yeah, I could definitely blame. So let's see. And for some reason it decided to fucking reload again. Here we go. Okay, so 50 Cent says, but why she tell you that shit on a show for everybody to see? Will Smith replies, we broke up, so she did her and I did me. 50 Cent writes back, as though that's not good enough of a response. Then she said only she can give permission for somebody to blow her back out. Will Smith replies, fuck you, 50. 50 Cent, wait, what'd I do?
I don't know. I mean, if that was a good comment to make for you, I'm not sure what kind of person you really are, but you got to know you fucked up a little bit with that one. I mean, that's like just airing shit out everywhere.
I wish there was a way that I could extrapolate like the clip, but then he posted like just an amazingly well made re-edit of the Fresh Prince scene. And it like is edited to fit the current times, and it's fucking amazing. Because it's like the infamous "why he don't want me" man scene, but like somebody perfectly edited it to dub to where she's just talking about her just like fucking around on him, and it's perfectly well done. It's amazing.
And apparently, I guess, like, people, some kind of infos come out that allegedly she might have been dealing with this dude before they kind of had, like, this situation in place. So it's a lot of, it's a messy situation. Because I'm hearing that this dude apparently had, like, maybe some damage emotionally. And, like, because I guess he was basically brought in because I guess he was having some personal issues. And, like, they kind of family took him in, took care of him. Which, if you kind of look at it from that standpoint, that makes it worse. If you kind of bring him in under the condition of going to take care of you, look out for you, and then it's almost like he was grooming this dude.
We'll see. We brought him into the house, and next thing you know, what did I do? What did I do? That's what he's thinking right now, man. Yeah, that's what he's thinking.
Because I'm not sure. I don't want to speak on it, but I think he had some mental issues going on. Like, I mean, it's just like, it's a shitty situation, man.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh well.
Let's tie this back into wrestling, man. Let's get a fucking match out of this shit, man. Jada on a pole match.
Oh,
let's get Jada on a pole.
Oh no. I do want to share. I mean, if you want to look at it in a positive way, cheers.
Happy birthday, Anthony. Shot for you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Let me take a sip on this before I get into this one. Jada did introduce a new word into the lexicon that'll probably get a lot of brothers off. Entanglement. And have any of you gentlemen ever found yourself in an entanglement type situation? Because if you haven't, she just gave you a get out of jail free card on this one. I found myself in an entanglement. I know I still love you, but entanglement. It happened. You go outside, I fell on his dick. These things happen. You get entangled.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be untangled, obviously. I just don't. I'm not sure I've ever been in an entanglement. No, not sure.
Making it seem like she got messed up in like an obstacle course. She's like, yeah, I was going over the old wires, and I got entangled. It happens.
And look, and just going back to that, like Will Smith meme for a second, that look on his face, if you freeze frame it, it's like, bitch, did you suck his dick or not? Did you fucking like? That's what he wanted to come out of his mouth with. I mean, he was like being like Charmin Will, like, hey, ha 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 ha. But that's what he wanted to say, bitch. Did you fuck him or not? Why are we here right now?
We're all men. Have none of us ever been in that situation where you caught her doing something like, okay, so you fucked him. I could probably get over that, but if you sucked his dick, I might have to kill you. Might have to choke you.
I'm 37. Oh, Jesus. 37
in a row.
Oh, okay.
No. Honestly, you know what Will's probably thinking in the back of his mind? He said, I could choke this bitch right now, but if I do, she'll be reunited with Tupac, and I don't want that either. So damn, he probably like, damn, I can't win. Lord help me.
Well, it's funny. Ford just came out with the Bronco again.
Yes.
I'm not sure where that fits in here. I'm just throwing it out there. Just like yesterday or the day before, I think it was actually. I'm not sure. Monday or Tuesday, they just came out with a new Bronco. I mean, I'm sure someone is happy.
Yeah, they from what I hear, they switched the date on it because it was going to be re-released on that infamous date.
Oh, I'm sure that was an accident. It was an entanglement, I'm sure.
Entanglement.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know OJ's advice to Will right now? No, Will, my wife cheated on me once. The key word's there. Once.
Put the gloves in water, Will. Put the leather gloves in water. That's all.
Somebody give Will my number.
You put them in the washer, they shrink a little bit. Works out perfect.
So far, this is my favorite wrestling show I've been on so far, man. We mentioned one wrestler who hasn't had a match in how many decades?
Quite a few.
And honestly, he'll go down as one of the most memorable now. I can never say another bad thing about a Warlord. I'll never say a bad thing about this dude.
Oh, dude, I love the Warlord. Look, Box, you grew up watching the Warlord when I did, man. Was that guy not in insane shape? Like, he looked like he was wearing a muscle suit. Like, his traps, he had the most incredible traps that I've ever seen on a pro wrestler.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I was always, fans of Legion of Road Warriors and, they were jacked as hell. And that fucking Warlord was one of those guys. He was just a fucking monster. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say he was, as a singles, he was cool as shit with the, I don't know if you guys remember when he had the half metallic deal.
Yeah, that little mask thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, the gladiator mask or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah.
But to kind of keep things remotely on topic, I was actually thinking about this last night. Since everybody's here, and we've all kind of watched a couple of decades of wrestling at this point. Like, I feel like everybody has their own sort of character, person that they like, that kind of, in spite of criticism, like everybody has their own kind of guy that like they can kind of admit that they kind of suck or they're kind of goofy, but you like them anyway. So who would you guys say is like your guy with that? Like, just to kind of set the tone and kind of clarify and talk about, like, for example, like mine would be the Repo Man. Of just like shitty character or potentially bad wrestler, but you just kind of ride with him anyway.
Okay, I can go with that one. I'd have to say Red Rooster, man. Honestly. Okay. When I was a kid, he was cool as hell. I would do the whole little, my hand, that thing and shit. Yeah, he was pretty cool. And I know people shit on him, but I mean, hey, the guy's still. I mean, I think he's still doing stuff for one of the companies right now.
Yeah, I think he's a WWE. He might be one of like the coaches, trainers, something like that.
Something like that. So not bad. So,
Bobby, you got. I still got to think about mine.
Yep.
I know. There are a couple of names that pop up in the mind, and I'm like, I think I was entertained by this guy, but no, fuck that guy. I don't know. I think at one point, I'll have to say, at one point, I didn't absolutely hate Disco Inferno. I knew that he sucked. I knew that he was a clown, but he was supposed to be a clown who sucked. And there were times when he came on TV, and I'm like, okay, I'm sort of entertained by what he's doing here.
And I got to agree. I've put Disco over, never for his wrestling ability, but for he's an entertaining guy when he's out there. Don't get me wrong, the guy's kind of a douchebag, but that was kind of the character he was playing. And if you've
he was supposed to be.
Yeah, and Saturday Night Fever was like the no-no movie. My parents always told me you're not allowed to watch it, So when I finally watched it, Travolta was like the coolest guy for me. And I don't know, maybe that had something to do with it. But I always thought he was, entertaining as hell.
Well, I got a couple, but real quick on Disco. I will say, as I've gotten older, I've actually kind of like grown to appreciate Disco. Because say what you will about the guy, but he was over. And like go back to his entrance. You look in the crowd, you see people doing that goofy ass dance that he would do. And like to me, what made Disco work for me as a fan is the fact that he was so into it.
Yeah.
He was into what he was doing. Like anybody else would have been like, this is fucking stupid, and they would have been boo-boo faced about the whole thing. And it would have made the gimmick suck. But because he was just so into it, even if you thought it was the stupidest shit you ever saw, you had to give that guy his props for just embracing the silliness of the gimmick.
Yeah. But again, it was supposed to be silly, and he made that work. Like, he was pretty good at initially when he came in, he was good at making you hate him. Because if you watch back if you look back at the old shows, the people who were dancing in the crowd doing this little dance, they were doing it to clown him. They weren't doing it because they loved it. They started off doing it to clown him, but then they came to like it, organically. Of course, Disco was long dead when they started his gimmick. Everything about him was supposed to be completely hated. He couldn't win a match ever, And when he did start winning matches, he started to kind of pull for him. Or actually, before he started winning matches, the fans were kind of pulling for him. So it was kind of brilliant. He was funny enough. He had good timing as far as his promos and delivery. I mean, his promos weren't super great, but they didn't suck. There's far worse people. He knew how to execute what he wanted to execute. So my personal views, I don't like the guy, but I have to give credit where it's due. He was, I hate to say it, he was somewhat entertaining.
I got like two quick ones.
Okay.
Along the lines of Disco, a guy that doesn't get nearly the credit he deserves for being as good as he was, fucking Alex Wright. Oh. Alex Wright is fucking criminally underrated, dude. Like, yeah, he had the goofy dance gimmick, but that dude, go back and look at his matches. That guy can fucking go in the ring.
Oh, yeah, there's no denying that.
Yeah, just him and Disco, just a couple of guys shaking their money makers.
and I love the story. A big part of how he got his job, because I guess he's actually a second generation. I think his father's name is like Steve Wright or something. Guess who loved low key traveling with this dude, or liked having him around? Big name, Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Basically because young, good looking guy. He drew a certain clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Of course, he grew to hate him because of that too. Because if you put them side by side, even though Flair has his game, of course, he's getting older at this point, and people are like, I think I'm gonna go with Alex Wright. Yeah. So if you notice his push kind of decrease a little bit, I wonder why.
To expand on that story, actually, and I know you've seen it because I feel like we pretty much all have seen it at one point. It's on YouTube, so I believe there's like a video, a clip from I guess like a fan fest or something, that has a very young, I want to say maybe 94-ish, 95-ish or so, Paul Heyman talking about what he predicts out of like WCW and the whole Monday Night Wars thing around about the very beginning of it.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Says that one of the things that he says is that he imagines that Alex Wright's going to get a shitload of heat for fucking stealing Ric Flair's rats. And that ended up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy on that one. He was right on the nose, as he often is or was at that period.
Just to get you guys' opinion real quick, how do you think Alex Wright would have done in WWE?
I don't know. At that time, he could have just done the same thing. He probably would have been all right. I'm not sure if Vince would have liked that character, though.
Oh, no. Believe it or not, maybe not that character, but a character he probably would have loved that was actually tailor-made. Disco. Disco was a cunt's hair away from getting signed. Because I don't know if you guys remember when he did that deal with Jacqueline? Mm. So basically, before that, it was a little bit, he didn't want to do it because, they basically want him to go out there and lose to a woman when his contract was coming due. So basically, I think they had let him go or something like that. And he, in between him being away from WCW, like in between like that, grace period of where you can't technically do anything, but you still kind of negotiate through third party. He was talking to like Cornette, Pritchard, and there was actually an article in WWE magazine with a silhouette of Honky Tonk Man's next protege. It ended up being Rockabilly, but the initial plan was to bring in Disco to fill that role. And if you because if you look at his gimmick, it's a tailor-made gimmick for WWF. It always kind of felt out of place in WCW. You know what I mean? WCW was always like, you know, the wrestling territory, born out of NWA, and he felt like he stuck out like a sore thumb in a lot of ways. So he would have fit like a glove in WWF, but it did, you know, they wound up making nice, making good, and they got him back in before the deal could be made.
Never knew
I think Vince would have appreciated the irony of the character. He would have just like full on, just like sincerely, genuinely pushed him as being a cool guy.
Yeah. 100%, yeah.
He's one hip cat.
He
like
knows what the kids like. Meanwhile, you cut to somebody in the crowd just fucking sitting there eating popcorn.
But to answer your original question, Bob, I feel like Disco would have done infinitely better than Alex Wright. Because even though Alex Wright was a good wrestler and he had the goofy dance and all that kind of, he had like his own type of charisma. I think he would have been one of those guys, especially during that era, that would have got lost in the shuffle. Because it was almost like his gimmick was he was a good wrestler. And unless you had something that really piques Vince's interest, and I don't think that dance would have been enough of Vince, and he just would have been like mired and like not necessarily buried. He just would have been like another guy on the roster.
Yeah, I think he would have burned pretty hot for maybe like 2 weeks before jobbing out.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, probably about that.
I can see it working in a sense, because depending on when you decide to do it, like especially around that time, if you're like bringing him in around about 2000, 2001. Under the Alex Wright gimmick as it is, or as we were talking about, just a regular dancing, happy, smiley, babyface kind of character, not so much. But if you think about back then, late 90s, early 2000s, the band Rammstein was like really popular. And they were a group of German guys who like were just like loud, scary, heavy metal, just fucking screaming and shooting fire all over the place. And it worked out pretty well for like, that was like, because the late 90s, early 2000s were like kind of when the new metal thing was super popular, and it was like kind of the height of like angsty, angry white kids. So if you like build a gimmick around that, potentially it could have worked.
I could kind of see that. Give them a stable of guys, not even necessarily wrestlers, just some bodies, you know.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about guys that, you know, like that might have not been super popular with the masses, but you like them personally. You know who a guy that I always appreciated? Fucking Sid. I don't care what nobody say. Sid was the fucking man.
Actually, D Large, that was D Large's response to that question.
Okay.
Yeah. Sid. So D Large feels you on that one.
I mean, like Sid, like you look at it like this, like Sid was a guy, like, look, you were never going to get like clever promos out of Sid. You were never going to get like fucking 18-star matches out of Sid, but he had a look. He was intimidating.
The look and the intensity, yeah.
And he killed people. And like literally when he came out, dude, like he looked like a wrestler. You know what I mean? Like so many times, like I said, it's a lot of guys today, they're good wrestlers and they can do a lot of cool shit, but a lot of them don't look intimidating. Sid looked like he could do some fucking damage.
Yeah, he looked like he could eat a small adult in like one bite. He looked like the Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked terrifying, but yeah, just when you hear his promos were intense. When he could keep it together. But then when you start to learn too much about him, this is where, Anthony, I've heard you say a million times before, wrestling was much better when the fans didn't know shit.
Pretty much,
you know. When we got to know too much about Sid, that kind of took a little bit of the luster off.
The squeegee story?
The squeegee, the scissors, the softball, a whole bunch of the lies. There's so much about Sid. The fact that he fucking couldn't fight for shit, man. There's a lot of wrestlers can't fight, from what I hear.
Yeah, and it's like it's always like the people that you least expect that are the fucking biggest badasses. I mean, it's like, you know, as a kid, I love Brian Pillman as a kid. And like but you would just think like he's just like a small guy. You would think that naturally, like paired up against a Sid or a Vader type, he would just be not like a punk, but he would just get like beat down. But then when you hear his story, he was like by the time he was like 7, 8 years old, he had already had like 4 or 5 throat surgeries.
Yeah.
So he knew what it was to grow up like Hard Knocks, School of Hard Knocks. He was just like, he just grew up instinctively tough, naturally tough. And I'm sorry, man. Like that story with Sid, man. Like I know somebody want to square up with you, and your first thing is to run out to your car and grab and squeeze you. Like,
you grab the closest thing you can find, man.
Dude, I'm sorry.
You know you can't fight.
If I'm a wrestler in the locker room, I was there, I would make it a point to make sure Sid never, ever lay that down. I don't care how old he is. Every time I saw that motherfucker, I'll be like, remember that squeezy shit? The fuck was you thinking, man? What was going through your mind?
Oh, no. First thing I saw, I was mad.
I mean, I'm sorry, dude. Like, if you want to de-escalate a situation, pull a Sid. Go get yourself a squeegee.
Plus, I mean, like, he definitely got doomed when, like, the internet became more prevalent. Because I've seen that clip of him cutting that promo on Nash like about 1 billion times. It's funny every fucking time.
Oh, you know what killed me?
I'm twice the man that you are, but I only have half the brain
you do.
Or the we're live, pal.
No, you know what does it for me every time? The JR thing, he climbed up to, hey, we're live, pal. Mm-hmm. But with the Nash one, what kills me every time is Scott Hall's reaction. They have actually memed that shit.
Yeah.
He just looked at him like, he just did like are you serious? Are you serious right now?
Yeah, and wait, here we go. Ready?
But you know and I know that you are only half the man that I am. And I have half the brain that you do. But we just a week. You tried to make me look like a jackass.
And mind you, this was at the height of Hall and Nash not giving a fuck in WCW, and they would go out of their way not to hide. Like if you fucked up, they would let you know it live. It wouldn't be like one of those deals where you got to cover up for the boys. No, fuck that. Especially God help you if they didn't like you, they would really fucking railroad you.
Mm-hmm. Like you could, if you decide to actually, watch the clip on YouTube or whatever, you could just see when he says that, you could just see Hall's eyes light up because he knows that there's fucking gold. It's like, oh, there's so much potential. We have so much that we could use with this. Oh, this is fucking awesome.
But he said it with such conviction, though. It's like, did he say that on purpose? And then to follow it up with you trying to make me look like a jackass?
trying to make me look like a jackass. Like, no, you're doing a good enough job.
And they let him have it backstage. They did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, another funny one. It's too long, Box. If you look up the best of Scott Steiner, and it's like all of his rants from WCW, and a lot of those were with Mean Gene, and those were fucking priceless. Scott, you just picture this visual: Scott going off on these tangents, and half of it had to be bleeped out because it was on TNT. And even Mean Gene, professional. He's just listening to this shit like, are you serious right now? It's almost like Scott was like trying to take it as a challenge. Like, I'm going to break this little motherfucker right now. I'm going to break him.
It must be.
He would just say the most outlandish shit, man. Like,
must be that 22-minute one right there at the top. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't play that.
Little long. I mean, we talked about this before because we actually dedicated some time to the show a couple of months ago, I think. But it just strikes me as so odd. Just like I don't think anybody's had a more drastic shift in character than Scott Steiner did.
Oh yeah.
To go from just being like a really good wrestler who was kind of boring to being an incredibly entertaining person who was kind of a shitty wrestler. Like just almost overnight, it just completely switched.
He 180'd everything about himself, man.
Oh, hold on. I'm about to send you something in the chat. Give me 1 second. Keep talking, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a big Scott Steiner fan, though. I was a big Steiner Brothers fan, man. I liked pretty much every phase of their career.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Oh, Bobby, I'm glad you said that. Let me run this by you. Which Steiner did you prefer first off? Mullet or Big Papa Pump?
Big Papa Pump, absolutely. Sure.
Well, there was actually a rumor going that I don't know who the Blitz Pritchard, so take it for what it's worth. But when the Steiners came into the WWF, I think it was like 92, 93 range, they actually wanted to push Scott as a solo. They wanted him to win one of the Rumbles and Main Event Mania. Now, that would have been very interesting, because I've always been kind of curious about what a Scott Steiner run, like 92, 93 range would have looked like.
I couldn't see that working at that time.
Yeah, I feel like, because a lot of people say, well, he was a better wrestler, and I agree with that assessment, but at the same time, I just don't feel like wrestling was still in a different place at that point. So even though behind the scenes, what we got with the Big Papa Pump character was pretty much how Scott really was, but you couldn't cut those type of promos at that time, so it wouldn't have fit. So kind of curious about how that would have worked.
I really don't think that it would have. At that time he was still kind of dry. Like when the Steiner brothers were still together, still doing their thing. Rick was I was a bigger fan of Rick. And then when Scott broke off and started doing Big Papa Pump, I'm like, where the fuck was this guy? Where has he been hiding this?
Yeah, but I agree. I was actually a bigger fan of Rick Steiner too. I mean, he was there before Scott, wasn't he? They didn't come together. Yeah, they did. Yeah, he came in, and then after a while, they brought Scott in, and I was like, damn, he's fucking good too. And then I saw Big Pop Pump, and I'm like, that's Scott Steiner, the same guy. Really? Right. Okay, fucking balloons, motherfuckers.
Happy birthday, Anthony.
Goddamn balloons on Skype just keep fucking coming up. There they go again. All right, okay. Anthony, you were sending me something, remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
What'd you do?
Damn it.
Would you take Took a bell off the block. I was gonna what was I gonna send you there, fucking man? We got a little belt off this whole thing here.
I don't know if there was a format planned for this show tonight or if there was a run sheet or anything, but I feel like I derailed everything, man.
Oh, no, this is great.
I don't think we've ever had a run sheet for this show. We've done one for the movie show. Never follow that either, but not.
Okay, this is actually a true story, and I will go ahead and shine a light on myself for being a nerd.
Okay.
Like, about the second or third week that I was on this year's show, I decided that I was going to get super duper prepared. And I spent for the Wednesday show, I watched everything that we would watch and we'd talk about on Wednesday. And I took notes. I took fucking notes, and I had 2 or 3 pages of notes written for things I wanted to talk about, just opinions, this, that, and the other. And then we did the entire show, and I didn't use it once because I didn't have the opportunity to. And I was like, this is how we run. This is what we do.
Yeah, we just sort of go off the cuff, man. It's better. That's why we do it live. I mean, otherwise I'd record it and we would be professional. Fuck that.
Right.
Fuck that.
Fuck it. Yeah, Pat. We'll come back to it. I found one. I found one of the segments that I wanted to send you, so I got that. So basically, you
can I have your keys, Anthony?
I'm actually quite sober on this one. I didn't find the Scott Steiner portion because that was kind of like a little ugh. But you guys remember when him and Buff had a little alliance going for a minute?
Sure.
Yeah, so that basically turned into a shoot because I guess the boys were kind of fucking with both of them backstage. Kind of like, well, I don't know, Scott. Buff's looking a little lean over there. They basically were comparing bodies and shit because their whole gimmick was they're both in in ridiculous shape.
Right.
But basically obviously Scotty came back bigger, but Buff came back more shredded. And I think it was Lex that got them wound up, or Scotty wound up, and that ended up breaking them up. And it turned into a halfway shoot on camera. And basically, I was looking for the promo where Scott more or less said basically the only reason we let you in to the NWO is because we thought you were funny. Blah blah blah. And he basically called him a faggot about 4 or 5 different ways on TNT. What I'm calling, well, they bleeped it out a couple different times, but it was just fucking fantastic. And then you just picture this: you got Shivani and Heenan on commentary. Heenan, who is never speechless for anything, they literally just had to lay out because guy just went off on his tirade.
Oh, all the time.
You were hearing occasionally, "Oh, can he say that?"
Well,
it just did.
I mean, you know, TNA on TNT gave us this.
He's fat.
That was great.
That was money.
That was.
He's fat.
Now, Box, I did send you one of the buff rebuttals to Scotty. Probably one of the best things Bagwell has ever done in his career, promo wise.
You put that on Messenger?
Yeah.
Oh, give me a minute.
But there was a lot of good stuff in that Scott Steiner. He's fat. You know where that he's fat came from. This fat son of a bitch.
He's fat.
To kind of show you the state that like the local independent wrestling is around here, he being Buff Bagwell like main evented a show here. Ready for this in 2015. Wow. like that is where we are at. Like just as a scene, like you hear about Tennessee, like you think, you know, Memphis and think the tradition of Memphis wrestling, blah 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 blah, and you would think that there would still be a kind of decent scene around here. Not quite so much. There's a couple of people like AJ Gray's cool, but there's by and large there's pretty much nothing going on.
All right, Anthony, I've got the clip queued up here. And this is where Bagwell is mocking Big Papa Pump. And we get, I'll rewind it all the way and we can hear the lovely music he used there.
And Goldberg, who will face Ming later this evening on Thunder, has been signed to face Sting at Slamboree on May the 9th. And that match, of course, was signed by the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Obviously, I think, hoping to split two of WCW's top stars. The best chances of World Championship Wrestling regaining some control. I mean, imagine Sting and Goldberg joining forces together. You know that Ric Flair wants to keep them separated, Larry.
Yeah, well, that's a no-brainer. Sting and Goldberg together would be a force to be reckoned with. What
check this out?
Heck are we looking at?
Well, I would say that,
what is that?
That's a Buff Bagwell imitation of Big Papa Pump. And, of course, that matchup is official for Slamboree on May the 9th as well. United States heavyweight title will be at stake when Big Papa Pump defends against Buff Bagwell. It's a long-time association those two men had, Larry. Now it's really just...
Let's fast forward a bit.
Why?
There we
Follow
go.
the footsteps of Big Papa Pump in the first place.
Little
now
editing
he had
there.
to learn the hard way.
As I flew in here last night and partied downtown among the Penn State Nittany Lions, it took me about 3 seconds to realize how bad Michigan really sucks. But all I want you to do right now is close your eyes and picture the perfect man with the perfect body. And when you open your eyes, you'll see standing before you the big, bad, doo-doo daddy.
Been watching too many videos.
So last night as I was sitting in my hotel room, the Motel 6, I was watching the BET channel.
No, but pause. Rewind it back a little.
In the history of promos.
What happened? The Motel 6? Was it the Motel 6?
No. Yeah. Go back to that part. No, the part after that is where it gets funny.
I was sitting in my Motel 6 waiting for my Domino's pizza to arrive.
Oh, okay.
Bobby, you appreciate the rest of this.
Oh, wait. I'm a little bit behind. Hold on. Okay. All right. I got it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Please.
I was watching the BET channel trying to steal one more line for another interview from a rapper. And I came up with this one. I'm not a player. I'm just on parole a lot.
I missed the 90s. Jesus Christ.
Oh, come on, man.
Slamboree, U.S. title shot. You got it. You want me? You want the ultimate man? Slamboree, you bring it, and I'll show you that I'm Scott Steiner, and there's no bigger liar than Scott Steiner. So this goes to all you freaks out there. Big Papa Dump is an idiot. Flush me if you hear me.
Is a pay toilet?
Hit the music.
And
Well, what do you think, Larry? I think you.
Oh God, when wrestling was good.
Oh, and there is a happy ending to this story. I actually did find the Scott Steiner promo that preceded this, and basically, if you kind of read between the lines, there were some personal. Well, Scott's was more personal than what Buff's was, but basically, if you remember when Scott made the transition to Big Papa Pump, he was throwing in a lot of like hip hop phrase that he was. That's where the BET line came from. Because because come on, man. Like, I guess between talking to Nash and hey, you look like you like hip hop. He was getting some lines, but I can't picture Scott Steiner. He doesn't strike me as the type that just is sitting around listening to rap.
He knew what he was doing. He was, in a way, he was doing sort of. He merged in sort of like an updated version of superstar Billy Graham into his gimmick. Mm-hmm. And, Billy Graham always had, he always had that slick rap with him. So Steiner knew what he was doing and he made it work. He updated it. I thought it was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. He definitely knew what he was doing with it. And it was pretty cool. All right, Anthony, am I playing this whole thing, all 6 minutes?
Not all 6 minutes, probably maybe 3 of it. It's right. The rest of it is a beat down.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Oh, volume, sorry.
Legs from Cincinnati! It's obvious that we don't live in a perfect world, but you're looking at a perfect body. You're looking at a genetic freak. And now, since the Cincinnati Bengals suck, the Cincinnati Reds suck, you're looking at the greatest athlete in Cincinnati right now. So any other losers out there that want to be with the real man, any of you hoochers that are looking for some action, the big bad booty daddy will give you satisfaction. So this goes to all my freaks out there. Big Papa Pump, as you hook up, holler if you hear me. Now, since we're talking about perfection, we might as well talk about the NWO, black and red, because we are the greatest athletes in the world today. And I'm talking body talking to you, buff. See, since your neck injury, I taught you how to train, and you've trained your body, but it's obvious you haven't changed your brain. Because you not only cost me, you cost the NWO, Jack. No, I'm talking to you, boy.
Don't go here.
I'm saying since you got a pencil neck and you hurt your neck, you're not the same, and maybe you don't belong anymore.
Well, since we're getting things off our chest, Big Papa Pump, maybe you want to scan the crowd and look at the Buff Daddy signs.
There's a lot of them. See, that's the difference. You care about the crowd. I don't give a damn about any of these fans.
You know what, Scotty? For the last 3 months I've been coming out here, I walk down that aisle, big man, and I make you look like $1 million. But you know what? Since Buff Daddy has got back into shape, maybe Scotty is a little bit jealous. Just a little bit.
Remember one thing, as good as you look, you will always be second best next to me.
Scotty, this is getting a little bit out of the hand, but let's just be honest. You're Big Papa Pump, but you're not buff, and you're not the stuff.
Let me remind you one thing. Before you joined the NWO, you were nothing. If we kick you out, you'll be nothing again.
You know what? This is getting a little bit out of hand, Scotty, okay? Let's settle down, okay? We don't need this, okay, big man? I told you last night I was sorry. I'll tell you again I'm sorry. But if you got a problem with that, you need to let me know right now. This is getting a little out of hand. Let's just drop it, okay? Let's let it go. What do you say, Cincinnati?
Yeah, and here comes the beatdown. Oh man,
I miss pro wrestling, man.
I do. I do too, man. And you know, the one thing I'm looking at, and I couldn't stop looking at, was the crowd. First of all, plenty of hot women in the audience. Number one, and
passionate too.
It's the 18 to 49 demographic, guys. That's what's in the audience right now, right there. I mean, really, that's what's in the audience right during this moment right now. And I mean, you know, you do though. You've got teenagers. You see guys in their 20s, young people. There's a kid with an NWO shirt in the front there. There's a grandmother down there in a pantsuit, a yellow pantsuit.
Dude,
it's the stunt granny, exactly. She's sitting down there in her pantsuit, loving Scott Steiner over there, probably all soppy.
Fox, let me tell you something. The only demos I cared about was on the blind in the fourth row.
That was one of my favorite things that they were doing when I was a kid, and they're both two products of a bygone era now. But WCW would have shows on like MTV for like spring break and like winter break. There'd be like little specials, and they'd show up there and they'd have little matches and do little vignettes. And at the time, it was really cool. Like, it actually felt like relevant to me. I mean, I was a small child. Well, not a small child, but I was like probably fucking 9 years old. But it felt relevant.
Yeah.
You remember when someone threw a bottle, I believe, at Scott Hall and Nash, and they ran after him. They went right into the crowd.
Like I mean, people can make all of the jokes. You can actually still see that video on YouTube.
Really?
It was at a look it up if you want to. It was at a Dr. Dre. It was a Dr. Dre and Ed Lover event, and somebody had threw it was a Wolfpack. It was Hall, Nash, and Waltman on the stage. Somebody threw a bottle of something at Nash or at the stage in general, and Nash fucking made a beeline for this motherfucker. Like, and he caught him too. Like,
oh shit,
he caught him too. And he tells a story on one of the shoot interviews. Lawsuits were exchanged. I think he wound up suing the guy for like $1 just to be an asshole or something like that. And the dude wrote him an apology in crayon. But just the fact that this shit happened. Like, picture this: you got, and this is at the height of wrestling being like the hottest thing in the world, right? You got Wolfpack on the stage rocking the NWO shirts. You got fucking Dr. Dre, not Beach Dre, but big ass Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. They doing their shit like blah 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 blah, and they were actually like it was during that time period where people actually didn't look down on wrestling because it was like hot.
Yeah,
and they were actually engaging in conversation like, oh, you a big, yeah, damn, you a big dude. Yeah, I am. Somebody throws some shit at the stage and it was on.
All right. It's 50 seconds. Let's do this. There's some stuff before it. They have some fun. Let's do this real quick.
Another kind of contact sport made for Ed and Dre's favorite spring break moment.
They're going to turn it into living masterpieces.
It happened when Kevin Nash and his World Championship Wrestling cohorts in NWO were attacked by an audience member.
He hit him with a rock. It was a rock. It was a rock? Yeah, he hit him with a rock.
So he started it. And Nash, who's 7'3", about 425 pounds, he jumped off the stage. And then picked him up and body slammed him in the sand. It was the best thing I ever seen in my life.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. When the show's over, we want to press charges. We'll come find you.
Yeah, they actually arrested the guy. Yep, not Nash.
Yeah, Nash actually grabbed the guy, pinned him on the ground by his throat. I would not want Nash's hand on my throat. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh my God. That'd be
I know, like, people, like I said, people talk a lot of shit about this dude online, but even now, I've seen this dude in person. This is a big motherfucker. I would not want to get into a physical altercation with this man.
No, it'd be like fucking Bigfoot's fucking hand on your fucking throat, man. Fuck that shit.
But Pox,
and now keep in mind, for context, he had both functioning quads at the time. He was fully healthy. He was ready to fuck some shit up.
Scott, we'll come find you, Chico. All right, after the show.
Yeah, Scott being the instigator, working Nash up.
It's a fucked up thing to say, but I miss the days when like they were actually allowed to just beat the shit out of people for being overzealous, for like running into the ring and for throwing shit.
I miss the days when wrestlers
Savage just kicking fuckers in the head.
Look, honestly, dude, like I swear, some of the best run-in situations happened in WCW. Like the fucking the refs didn't fuck around in WCW.
No,
right. Like little ass, rest in peace. I think it was Pee Wee Anderson, Randy Anderson.
Yep, Randy Anderson. Yep, I remember that one.
Yep, a fan jumped into the ring. It was during this is how vivid this is to me. It was during a fucking Psychosis and Dean Malenko match, right? This big ass motherfucker runs into the ring, and like Dean and Psychosis stop. They ready to go to work. Oh no, referee, little ass Randy Anderson steps. Don't worry, fellas, I got this. He takes this motherfucker down like he used to amateur wrestle. He took this motherfucker down with like it was nothing, and this was a big dude. He took him down like it was nothing. He restrained him until the security team came, but he.
Right, and I don't think you're paraphrasing either. That's pretty much what he said. He was like, "I got this." Call me cool.
Bro, there's been some great fucking run-ins, man.
Nick Patrick was another one. He used to wrestle.
He used to wrestle too. Yeah,
he was another one. He was another one that didn't fuck around.
Yeah, Lil Nate. Did he get a hold of one day? I think he did. I think Mike Chioda got a hold of one day after Triple H got a hold of him.
Oh, is that the guy that somebody tried to run in Austin?
I think so. And Triple H I think he he
Germaned him, right?
German suplexed him, but not not the nice way. And then the ref jumped in.
It might have been the first time he ever thrown a German suplex.
And it was one of those weird deals where really, I guess, he literally had to stop selling.
Yeah.
Like literally, I think the match might have been over. This fan kind of ran in on Austin doing this thing. Before Austin got a chance to lift a finger, Triple H got up from selling, and he did like a short German on this dude. Like, he could have fucked this dude up, seriously.
Well, if you remember, one fan ran in and knocked Eddie Guerrero off the ladder. Remember that?
I was actually just about to mention that, honestly.
He was
That's
pissed. He was pissed, too.
He should have been pissed. He could have got killed. He wasn't ready for that shit. Yeah. Well,
sure.
I guess, look what happened in the long run, but he could have definitely got hurt doing that shit, man. He wasn't prepared for that shit.
Oh, it was another one.
Raven. Remember the dude that ran in and grabbed Raven when he was sitting in the corner?
I give him credit, though, because he basically kept character the entire time.
Yeah, he did. Just looked at the dude like,
cutting a promo, and then, his voice obviously spikes when somebody grabs the back of his hair. But he grabs the back of the hair, he gets him out of the ring, and then, if I remember right, security basically just comes and rushes the guy, and Raven just watches the entire time, and then just gets right back in position and goes right back to cutting the promo.
Nice.
Yeah. The two that always stick out to me was anybody that watched Bash at the Beach 96 live, the formation in the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
As Hogan is cutting his speech, I did it for the money, fuck the kids, and all that kind of stuff. This fat fan literally slid into the ring, and Hall and Nash proceed to stomp the ever living shit out of him. And Hogan is just, he's not dumbstruck. Hogan's been around for a while at this point, so he's seen it all. And he just kind of stood back, let his boy do the work, just shook his head, and as soon as they was done, gave him a couple high fives. That's what I'm talking about. Security. Top motherfucking security.
And in an odd way, it kind of enhanced the experience. You had the fans were throwing everybody was throwing everything that they could get a hold of into the ring. You had they were beating up fans. It was just and they were putting it over in commentary. It was basically just full on pandemonium.
Yeah, a little background on the trash being thrown, because I remember when that happened, seeing people legit fans, even though we knew the deal at that point, legit fans were still completely shocked and disgusted that Hogan pretty much quote unquote turned his back on us, and all of that trash, the first few times when they were out there and all that trash was raining in, they were plants. Some of them, they actually had plants in the crowd throwing trash, or they got it started, and then it kind of encouraged other people to start throwing it.
Interesting.
I can't remember where I heard that, but somebody confirmed that was the case. It might have been Bischoff. There was an interview with somebody, and they confirmed that was the case, and it enhanced it. It really did, man. It made you really feel it, man. The crowd hated them.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was good stuff.
Was the best.
Yes, man. Nothing was better.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, not NWO, but it was another fan running. Did you guys see the one? This is towards the end of Macho Man's run in WCW. He was feuding with Nash, and they were in the ring doing something. This is when Macho was super pumped, super jacked, and he was doing something with Nash where he was Nash was selling. He was putting lipstick or something on him, and this fan runs into the ring. And Nash is halfway selling, about to do something, but then Macho's a fucking head trigger. You know how high, tightly line that motherfucker is to begin with. Yeah. And he just started going to work on this thing. He starts going to work. The ref had to get involved, pull him, before he could do too much damage, because I guess he saw that look in Macho Man's eye. He said, I need to slap in here.
I'm watching a good one. I'm watching a good one right now. Where DDP was in the ring talking shit.
Oh,
and that fan jumps in, and the ref. Here, I'm going to go blow by blow with the ref here. It's not long.
I got a spot right here for you, Hennig. Hennig!
Come on out here and feel the back.
He's called out Hennig, and we hear the music.
Okay, the fan comes in.
He's going to answer the challenge.
Ref pulls him down. He's kicking him. He's kicking him. He kicks him again. Drags him back in the ring. Oh, he's got him in a Steiner recliner. He's dragging him out. He's dragging him out of the ring. And security's got him. Security's got him. Security's got him. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Commentary no sells it. I love it.
That was, dude.
I guess to Bobby's point earlier about like plants in the crowd and all that obviously led to a lot of real fans thinking like, oh shit, I can jump in the ring. Yeah, I can beat these guys. And initially you would hear like Shivani or whoever like, look, dude, you don't want to. Fans, you want to have a good time, blah blah blah. Don't get in the ring. But it got to a point where it got so out of control where they just be like they would just lay out and enjoy the beating or whatever.
Yeah, look at this idiot.
I can't fathom, and I mean, I guess alcohol and then just some people are fucking nuts, but I can't fathom the idea of actually doing that. Because, like, what do you think the upside is going to be? Like, even if you just, like, you get in there and you somehow, by the grace of God, beat the ever-loving shit out of, like, the Macho Man or something, you're not going to get a contract.
Listen here, Smart. Listen here.
Okay.
This was Generation X in our youth. That's my generation right there, man. We didn't plan shit that far out.
No.
Fair enough.
You planned as far as that looks like a guardrail right there, and that's the end of the plan.
Yeah.
And then from there, you play it from here.
You chugged your beer and you did what you had to do.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
X, motherfucker. We're not boomers. That's the shit we did.
Hey, Box, hold that thought. And then we'll really get into the meat and potatoes of this week's show. You talked about chug the beer, right?
Yeah. Exhibit
A of why Scott Hall will forever and always, in my opinion, be one of the coolest motherfuckers on the face of the planet. NWO, this was like when it was like fucking a gang of like 60, 70 of them in the ring, right? This is how cool this motherfucker is. They're tossing shit in the ring, trash. At one point, somebody throws like a beer or something. It could have been a cup of piss for all I know. And it hits Scott literally dead on, and he just completely no-sells it, does the whole hair thing in Razor mode. He played that shit off like it was the coolest shit ever. And like and Macho Man just had to look at him like, damn, that's a cool. I thought I was cool, but you's a cool motherfucker. Oh, I can snap into that. That's how you gotta do it, man. Like literally, man. Like sell the shit out of it.
Yeah, man. For a while there, Scott Hall was, in my opinion, the coolest motherfucker in wrestling.
To me, still is. Like to me, when Scott's on, like there's nobody better. Just the little things, man.
Yeah. One more, Anthony. Cheers to you, sir. Happy birthday.
Cheers. Happy birthday.
Sure.
Balloons.
And look, I know we kind of like walked down memory lane a lot tonight. Honestly, you know why? Because there's not a whole lot to be excited about with the current product, man. Like, look, you guys see the numbers, man. Like Raw, like record low viewership. The demos. God help us. Look. Before we get into that, Raw, let's talk about AEW this week. It was a good show, solid for the most part. But I want to start while I had Bobby on. That's why I want to get his thoughts. We had a promo in the middle of the show by Chris Jericho about the goddamn demos, about ratings. Even JR sounded sarcastic. Even Jim Ross, God bless him, sounded like, "Oh Lord, are we really dedicating TV time to this?" And
look, he literally said, "Let me explain to you how these ratings work." And I just was like,
Jericho said that?
Yes, it felt so sad.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's like, of him of all people, it's just like, oh, like there's a certain quality based on just years of consistency that you come to expect from the man. And like, yeah, it happens. Everybody has like a bad week where they don't deliver. But it's like, you have like one of the best people on the mic in your company coming out there, and you're like, give them a fucking talking to about how we're murdering in the ratings.
Now,
let everybody know we're hip.
Now,
like,
to take over for Anthony and play a bit of devil's advocate here. Jericho's supposed to be a douchey heel character, correct? Is that not one of the douchiest, heelish things you could ever do, is go out there and just needle people about the bullshit that they don't want to fucking hear about?
Yes,
I feel like...
When we
go ahead, Smark. I feel like we're going in the same direction.
Maybe, but maybe not. But I don't know. Probably. But when you put it on your personal Twitter to defend, like, before the C promo even happened, he was out there, like, literally sincerely talking about how they lost the overall number, but it was still great because they got the ever elusive 18 to 34 demographic, and 18 to 34 demographic, they're doing better than, like, SmackDown is right now, and so on and so forth, blah, 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 all that bullshit. When it's not necessarily an in-character tactic when you're putting it on your personal Twitter before you come out and cut the promo.
Well, it's the only Twitter he has, number one, and number two, the unfortunate thing about text is we don't know if Jericho was sitting there like, oh, this is really going to piss off the fans. Jericho is known for trolling on social media heavily. Again, I'm devil's advocating a little bit here, a little bit.
You know, no, go ahead, Bobby.
Well, just real quick, I'm okay. Like, obviously, I'm not on Twitter at all anymore. You know, I want to make that clear to everybody, man. I purged that disease over a year ago at this point. But I'm okay with them doing stuff like that on Twitter. I'm okay with any wrestler doing pretty much anything on Twitter, whether it's in character or out of character, as long as it's clearly defined. But on TV, I never, ever want to see anybody acknowledge that it's like any inside shit about the show on TV, you know? Like, that's not okay. You know, say any fucking thing else. Say some personal shit about somebody's life. But once you bring up ratings, it's like, come on, man. That seems, that's beyond being douchey. Like, that's outside of a heel doing heel work. Like, that comes off too much like you're defending your TV show. And I think it comes off more sad than anything.
All right. I can see that. Anthony, go ahead with what you're about to say, please.
Yeah, and I know some people might think Antox, we're getting worked and all that kind of good stuff, but look, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. That's not the point. To me, the whole segment came across as very self-serving, very, very kind of like, he wanted to needle people. Because you could, if you followed the demo shit last week, with Tony Khan and Jericho getting into fans. Like I said, Jericho responded to a fan that didn't even tag him in shit about the fucking demos. So was he vanity searching himself? Like, why the fuck would he randomly respond to somebody that didn't tag him in it? Tag him in the tweet. And to me, it's one of those deals where it came across to me as more certain things got to him last week, and he wanted to needle people about it. Well, yeah, we might have lost viewership numbers, but we won here, here, and here. That's how that promo came across to me.
All right. Yeah, I don't like so much of the inside shit. And I'm saying this, like, also to be clear, I haven't watched the show. I haven't watched any wrestling in a while. I am such a big fan of pro wrestling, and that's why I don't watch any of it anymore. But just the idea of a wrestler in his promo talking about the ratings, that reminds me of going back to Buff Bagwell. I remember in WCW when, I think it was during the time when Vince Russo took over and everything was a work shoot and Bagwell was supposed to lose to somebody and he actually said some shit. Buff Bagwell doesn't do a job job for anybody. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? Just hearing him say that just made me sick to my stomach, you know? And to me, that's kind of how this comes across. I don't want to hear them on the fucking show talking about the ratings. Maybe it's okay if a commentator mentions something, you know, if they do well, like, hey, this is how many people watch this. That's fine. But the wrestlers shouldn't fucking do that.
And it's weird because, look, we all come from that era where, you know, the fucking... The gates were open to like the behind the scenes and the shoots and shit on TV. But the difference between like when they would do this shit back in the 90s, early 2000s, they would work the insider terminology into the promos and all that kind of shit, but they would still work it into the context of whatever angle they were in. So they would throw in shit out, about, behind the scenes. They would throw out real names. We got heat, brother, and all that. But it worked within the context of the angle they were in. Like the fuck, Jericho is literally not. What does bringing up demos and ratings have to do with your current situation? Like, how is that going to translate to the next match you're going to have or the next pay-per-view you're going to work? Like, it has no context. It has no connection to the actual match that you're building towards. It was like a self-serving promo. This is no different than Vince coming out saying, I beat Ted Turner. I beat the government. Hell, I even beat God. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
You know what though? I'm actually okay with that coming from Vince, because Vince is a different type of entity. Everybody knows that Vince is the owner of the whole kit and caboodle. But coming from a wrestler, it's like, come on, man, what the fuck are you doing? It comes off pathetic in my opinion.
Yeah, like it reminds me of kind of like if you've ever been to a place like a store or restaurant or whatever, and like you hear the people that work there just gushing about the founders. Like, this was a small place that originally opened up in Panama City, Florida, and then it expanded to over 300 locations nation. Like, nobody gives a flying fuck. People do not want to watch you pat yourself on the back. Like, if you can learn anything from WWE, you do not want to be the people that are putting up did you know that all of our wrestlers combined have more Twitter followers than the Miami Dolphins? Like, who cares? This does not indicate a good quality of a television product. Like, do not slurp yourself on fucking television. Just present your product and move on.
Yeah, and look, and I'm going to stand by. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Did one of the main differences between a guy like Tony Khan, appreciate his passion and I appreciate his dedication to the wrestling business. That is all top notch. But if you're an owner, you should not lower yourself to getting into it with fans. Well, look at the demos and like spreadsheets. No, motherfucker. Look, you're worth billions. You should be fucking like on a plane, Lear jets, eating shrimp, lobster, fucking banging hot chicks. You shouldn't be fucking online getting into it with basement dwellers.
No, he's carrying around White Claw and being a mark.
And that's look, dude. I'm sorry. That's my issue. I don't care what anybody fucking says, dude.
That's what he's doing.
At the end of the day, man, like that's what separates Vince from everybody else. And this isn't even defending Vince. It's just all about presentation. Vince has always put himself on a pedestal. You very rarely will you see him out and about with his wrestlers taking pictures. Like I said, if you're a fan and you've ever met Vince, got an autograph, consider yourself lucky, because that's not something he does very often or has done very often. Mm-hmm. But Tony Khan strikes me as like, if you see him on the street, hey buddy, here's an autograph. Here's one a picture. To me, that there's something to be said about not being easily accessible. You kind of if you're going to be the owner, if you're going to be the decision maker, the money maker you have to kind of like put yourself on a pedestal almost.
Yeah,
you have to separate yourself.
I personally don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with somebody being human, and this coming from the inhuman. I don't have a problem with somebody being human and actually connecting with the fans. I don't have an issue with that, but I think it becomes a problem, like what you said a few minutes ago, getting into an argument with an individual fan. Like, come on, man, don't fucking do that. What you do is you say, thanks for your input, or, I'll take it under advisement, or whatever. Like I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to some, my people about it, whatever. But don't fucking get into it with a fucking fan. What is that going to do for your business? There's nothing good is going to come of that. You're not going to change the guy's opinion. If anything, you're going to turn other people away from you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've never really been somebody who is like super into just the overall like preserving the facade of just being like, be macho, be masculine, be a tough guy. But like, there's a certain aura that these guys have to kind of present to us as viewers. When you go online, you're seeing like these guys are like fucking throw on full on temper tantrums over like people having a beach ball. Like it hurts. It kind of hurts the mystique. Because like, yeah, everything you're doing hurts. You're putting your body on the line. You're busting your ass. You're making sacrifices. You are being compensated too, though. Number one, and number two, like it just, you know, people aren't always gonna love what you're doing. Like you have, you know, everybody, like most of the major wrestlers have like millions of Twitter followers, 2 or 3 million, maybe, you know, whatever, a couple thousand, however you want to look at it, whatever the number might be. So you're getting probably about 80% of people, your interactions are positive. They're like, oh, you know, hey, can you wish me a happy birthday? Hey, can you, my sister, say hello to my sister? Can you do this? Can you do that? Blah, 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 blah. And, oh, I love you. I'm a big fan. Hey, I got a question, this, that, and the other. And then you get like a handful of people that are like, I think your match sucked. You're like, how dare you, sir? How dare you? Like one of the, and I saw, just as an example, she released it like a day or two ago, maybe. There's a, if you guys are familiar with the whole blank read me tweets, you know, actors, comedians, athletes, blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole thing that started in the Jimmy Kimmel show. Mia Yim released a video on YouTube a couple days ago. I don't know the exact date, of her reading mean tweets. And the whole idea is that it's supposed to kind of be funny. It's not funny at all. Like, it just seems like the most, like, self-effacing, just, like, ego-stroking thing that I saw. Because, like, none of them are, like, actually funny. And, like, she just goes on and just, like, you might be saying some hurtful things about me, but you can never break my spirit. Who I am as a person. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'm going to be brave and bold. Like, the idea is you're supposed to be able to, like, pick out somebody said something that was a fucking mean thing to say, and they're kind of a dickhead for saying it, but it's kind of funny. And you could be like, right, you know, haha, that's funny, but fuck you. And not this, like, cause, like, the first thing she reads is just, like, somebody just wrote, fuck me,
yeah.
It's just like, okay, so what's funny about that?
Well,
I'm glad we're talking about this. I'm sorry, Bob.
No, I was about to say it's 15 minutes, but you want to play a couple minutes of it real quick?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it helps emphasize my point, because right now I just look like a real asshole, but you'll get it if you listen.
Well, you know, Mark, I try to help you out when I can, buddy. Here you go.
Good teammate.
So y'all had at Dakota Kai win on TakeOver and then a cage match just to lose to me. What's up, everybody? It's me, Mia Yim, and you can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WWE NXT on the USA Network. So today is a highly requested video following from the BRE mean tweets. Now, this is just going to be my mean tweets, but I've got a lot of good ones, and these, they're never ending. I hope you guys are ready. This one is short and sweet, and it says, I fucking hate Mia Yim. You mad? Which is fine. You can be mad. You can hate me all you want. I'm still going to do me, and it's not going to affect me, my work, or nothing. So please continue to hate me, because I am still going to be busting my ass and making a name for myself.
She's supposed to be a face, by the way, just as context.
So I get these kinds of tweets normally on a regular during Black History Month, and if you follow me on Twitter, you definitely have seen me clap back on some of these fools. This one I've gotten recently, and it says, pretends to be black, is really Asian. I present to you my father.
Oh, look.
My father disagrees, of course, as well as my sister and myself. So I don't know what pretends to be black even means. I'm actually half black. And there are people that will say that because I'm half black or my sister's half black or anyone that's half black, they're really not black. Yes, we are. And we're proud. So don't tell us what we are and what we aren't. We are Black. And we are Asian. There's no pretending to be anything here. So these two tweets are from the same person. Okay. I ultimately had to block them because they just kept taking their anger out on me because their favorite isn't on TV, but I am. So I just blocked them and just carried on with my life. But he made an appearance on this video. And it says, Toni Storm would kick her ass. Mia Yim was trash in TNA and still is trash now. That's his first tweet. And then his next tweet. How do they use you over Toni Storm? It's ridiculous. Toni is the best female on the roster, and they treat her like dirt because they rather use you.
God damn it, man.
Damn, I just
now,
want to...
half of these, in the context again, most of these tweets that she reads, they did not at her.
No.
They're just regular-ass people just complaining on their own Twitter, separate of her, without trying to get her attention necessarily.
Well, someone
that they don't appreciate her work.
But people are going
Some of them were at her, yes.
Yes, but some of them...
Most of them weren't.
But people are just going to screenshot them and send them to her. You and I both know that. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens.
I'm sure that's exactly what's happening here. And my God, you just want to hug this poor girl.
I feel like we're in a big room, like with our chairs and our folding chairs in a semicircle, card table in the back with a bowl of punch.
You know what it is, man. These wrestlers are physically tough, but mentally twinky.
Yeah.
Like seriously, man. Like, case in point. This actually is a nice segue into some news. So this is about a Taz tweet from a day or two ago. So he's responding to this gentleman who he deems disrespectful. But take a listen to this tweet and tell me if you think this gentleman, this fan, is being disrespectful. This is from, let me see. The problem with the FTW belt is that people will associate it more with Taz instead of Cage. $1 Million belt, dud angled with Ringmaster and DiBiase Jr. Do something original so that Cage can create his own legacy. If FTW belt showed up on WWE, heads would roll on social media. Okay? Taz's response to this. Problem with wrestling social media is people like you. Disrespectful, know-it-all, but you ain't done shit in the industry, but yet you chirp on here, but in person to anyone from AEW/WWE/ROH/TNA/MLW, you wouldn't say nothing in person. In a writer's room, you would shit your pants. All I want to say to Mr. Taz is, where was all of this energy? Where was all of this smoke when fucking RVD was asking you to pick a fucking hand? Where was all of this energy when New Jack stepped to you? Like seriously, what the fuck was so disrespectful? The man made an observation.
Oh, the old who have you pinned, motherfucker?
And he didn't even add Taz in this shit. Once again, do these motherfuckers just sit around on their all time and vanity search themselves?
And once again, this is why I cannot support the product of any of these motherfuckers at all, because they all pull that, oh, let me see your resume. How's your territory doing? Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck them. I am not a tough guy, but I am fairly certain I could beat the shit out of Taz. Fairly certain.
I'm fairly certain you could too. But my God, man. And by the way, the guy gave an opinion. He gave examples. And he didn't shit on Taz. He didn't shit on the belt.
There were no insults.
No insults. No, Taz is a piece of shit, wannabe little Oompa Loompa looking motherfucker. No, none of that. I said that. He didn't. So anyway, I come on. I like Taz. I've said it before. But I thought the guy was articulate. He was intelligent and made actually a very valid point. Taz needs to fucking take a fucking shot or something. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. That, again, like Anthony said, the fan didn't even add him, which I hate even saying that. It sounds like a fucking teenager talking. He didn't even add me, bro. But why did he have to be so, by the way, he just made that guy's day by doing that, number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, there was no reason for that. Like I said, the guy was not insulting anyone. He didn't sound like a know-it-all. He gave he sounded pretty intelligent to me. Very valid point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, I understand that things are different, and I think just from a societal standpoint, I am glad that they are. But like, he came up in a time, he's not a new guy. He came up in a time when people would chant, "She's a crack whore" at people. And it's like, where was the outrage then? Like you people are holding up signs that are like, "You suck dick for money," like all this kind of shit. And one fan on Twitter is like, "I didn't particularly care for that segment on this television show that I watched, but the rest of it was fine." And he's like, "Fuck you! How dare you!"
Come on, brother.
You hurt my feelings, brother.
Come on, Cole. You can't be saying that about people, Cole.
Don't let me call Joey numbers. Because I'm sure as hell not going to fight you. All right.
Brother, I'm from Red Hook.
Yeah, Bags.
By the way, I've been to Red Hook. It's actually a very nice little town. It actually is. It's actually a nice little town. On the water, by the way. Boats going in and out. Nice little fishing town.
No, and like I said, I generally like Taz for the most part, but they just kind of like rub me the wrong way, man. Like literally, like these people, like whether it's Jericho, like this newfound thing of where wrestlers are just like vanity searching themselves apparently on social media, and they'll come across, cheers once again, they're coming across like things that they don't like, and it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, what? Don't you have better things to do with your time? I feel like your time could be better utilized than being online. A lot of us, to be quite honest with you, than going online seeking out like, ooh, I wonder what people are saying about me today. Well, and it's just like, it's funny how, like I said, like people, as long as you're kissing their ass, everything is all good. They might even give you a like every now and then. But the minute you are the slightest bit critical, you can be as respectful as you want to be. But if it's something that's critical, oh, you're every motherfucker in the book.
Well, now, Anthony, it probably gets a little boring with him just sitting in the booster seat in the back.
His feet swinging.
Just kicking. His feet swinging.
Hey, pull over. I want to get some fries. Come on.
I'm Brooklyn born. I'm Brooklyn bred. And when the time is right, I'll be Brooklyn dead. Survive if I let you.
Taz was the shit, dude. I'm over here. I'm fucking with him because I don't like the attitude of wrestlers lashing out at fans for having opinions. Right. But if you're putting yourself out there in any type of expressive field, be it art, music, anything in television, anything in media, you're leaving yourself open for opinions. Like that's the whole fucking purpose of this shit. That's the entire purpose. So I'm over here fucking with it. And like, I'm a fan. Like the shit that he did in ECW, like that shit was life changing for me. Like, not that it like actually literally changed my life, but that was some shit that kind of like, he spoke to our generation just with his whole attitude, everything. It's like that motherfucker was legit. You looked at him, you believed he was a fucking killer. I was a huge Taz fan, and it completely takes away from that when he pulls that, you're disrespectful because you have an opinion and you said the mean thing about me. Shut the fuck up, man. Anybody can say, like, okay, we're expressing ourselves right now. We're expressing our opinions and our thoughts to people to get their opinions on shit. Like, that's what we're doing. We're putting ourselves out there. So us doing this right now, we're leaving ourselves open for anybody to tell us anything, be it praise or be it criticism. People can say that they hate the stupid sound of my voice right now. They could say that I ramble too much or I stutter too much. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. I'm leaving myself open for that. How is that lost on these fucking people who make a career of this and they fucking get paid for this shit? Like, people, they're shitting on paying fans. Wrestlers must be very fucking happy right now that there are no actual fans in the fucking crowd. Like they might as well just hire their audience. If they want people to react the way that they want them to react to everything, then fucking pay us. You know what I mean? Give me money if you want me to say the shit that you want me to say. Otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm going to have an opinion about things.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, God forbid you have a legit opinion with, examples and have a... He called the guy disrespectful. If that guy was disrespectful, then, my God, I'm not sure what even to think at this point. That guy was probably the most respectful. Jesus Christ, me and him just read a tweet that said, go fuck yourself or whatever. I mean, that was disrespectful. With this guy,
we're being disrespectful because we're really taking some pretty low shots at him, which is easy because it's very short. Very, very short. But that's disrespectful.
I mean, the booster seat was a little bit.
That guy was articulate, and he stated facts and backed up those facts with his opinions.
Yeah, I mean, the booster seat might have been a little too much. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Taz. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
But the feet swinging thing just got me thinking.
Hey, I'm going to keep my words short and sweet because I don't want to be just another victim. That's all I'm saying.
That's the interesting thing too, though. Is like without context, some of these like quotes and tweets and shit. Because like last couple of weeks, we've had nothing but positive things to say about the guy. And like if somebody actually sent him like an excerpt of this shit, you would think that we just spent just hours bashing the motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that he called him a cocksucker or something. It's like, no, actually never mentioned you at all. Just actually never mentioned Taz, mentioned the belt itself.
Yeah. I mean, if you really look at the statement that the guy made, it was actually crediting Taz. Because what the dude was saying was people are going to relate this title to Taz because he made this. Like, Taz made this belt relevant. Basically, he was saying Taz is the shit, So Cage is going to have to do something else to make himself stand out from the greatness that Taz already said. And Taz is like, what? Fuck you. How's your territory doing?
and mind you, if you get a good look at the fucking FTW belt, it's fucking Taz's name embroidered on the fucking belt. His name, it's not even Cage or anything like that. Because if you remember, there was a brief period in time where fucking Sabu had the belt in ECW. It wasn't recognized belt, but it was some fuckery. He beat Taz for the belt. And rather than, I guess, since Taz actually got the belt made out of his own pocket, rather than go through the expense of getting his name plated on there, Sabu literally took a piece of athletic tape, wrote his name on it, and taped it over Taz's name. But I mean, but I'm just saying. At the end of the day, look, the fan made a very valid point. I mean, in the whole build up to this whole match with Moxley, what have we been talking about? We've been the focus has been more on hell of a promo Taz cut. Taz is really doing a lot for Cage. Obviously Cage has kind of like been like, I don't want to say an afterthought, but he's been very much in the background and a lot of people's assessments of the build up to this match. I feel like a lot of the focus has been on Taz. Maybe not intentionally, but that's been the end result.
Yeah, definitely. Oh God, I don't even know where to go from here.
I know where to go from here.
Straight
down there.
Hell. Oh.
Speaking of people who are in fragile states, old Sonny's been in the news lately.
Jesus Christ.
It couldn't happen to a nicer human being. Fuck her. I mean, fuck her forever and a day, man. Like I said, she's partly, in my opinion, I don't give a fuck about the blood clot. I want to believe that Chris Candido died of a broken heart because of the bullshit like I said, man, I'm a firm believer in karma. And the things you do, they might not immediately impact you, but somewhere down the line, they will. And this is a case of 20 years later, Sonny getting the fucking karma. Beat the fuck into her. I am fucking sorry. I don't wish ill on anybody, but some people got it coming. Some people had it coming. Some people just got shit coming to them. And I heard this story, and I'll be honest, my first reaction was, and I went back to eating my Special K.
So I'm in the dark. What happened? What's going on this time with that disgusting?
I will say, to kind of pull back the curtain here, to kind of make attentions known, I specifically brought her up while you were on the line for this very purpose.
Jesus.
All right, so here's what happened. I guess it was Monday. Monday, we all heard Tammy Sitch was rearrested for operating a motor vehicle during a second license suspension, eluding a police officer, contempt / violation of a domestic violence restraining order. From what I'm hearing, she called one of her ex-boyfriends. I'm not sure which one, and I'm not going to sit here and speculate. I'm assuming it might have been the young wrestler that she was dating.
To be fair, he might have been her supplier.
Oh, okay.
That could have been.
That could have been. That could have been too.
Might have been her connect.
Might have been. And basically, this all started with a phone call. And then obviously she was eluding police because she didn't want to go to jail. And she is out on parole, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, she was, but I think because of this latest incident, the state of Pennsylvania is basically trying to get that revoked. So she'll actually have to do some real jail time this time.
I think it's actually New Jersey.
Is it Jersey?
In the wake of New Jersey. No, you're right. In the wake of the New Jersey. I'm sorry. I have it backwards, Anthony. This arrest happened in New Jersey. Now they're looking to get her back to Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it is. I'm sorry. You were correct. I was mixed up.
Now, from what I had heard on the Observer, she doesn't even get bail.
Good.
Which is like...
Well, here's what's going to happen. If Pennsylvania wants her, they're going to have to extradite her to Pennsylvania, and she's not going to be able to get bail in Jersey because of the warrant in Pennsylvania. Or whatever not the warrant, but if they decide to revoke her parole, then they'll be able to do that and immediately, like as soon as she arrives in Pennsylvania.
Well, I found it here on oldcomicbook.com, which I don't know how good their reputation is normally, but it's probably better than old Ringside News.
They're pretty good, actually.
But let's see, news broke earlier this week that WWE Hall of Famer Tammy Sitch, better known as Sonny or Calm Dumpster, editorial, that wasn't their comment, was once again in trouble with the law. The former WWF and ECW star, was arrested on Monday and incarcerated at Monmouth County Correctional Institution and charged with operating a motor vehicle during a second license suspension, eluding a police officer, and contempt / violation of a domestic violence restraining order. It is still unclear what led to the arrest, though PWI Insider followed up the new report on Wednesday, stating that the state of Pennsylvania filed a motion in Carbon County Court to revoke Sitch's parole that got her out of her latest jail stint in February. If the court sides with the state, Sitch will have to serve out the rest of her original sentence. Her legal trouble... Here's a recap for everyone. Mm-hmm. Her legal troubles stretch back to 2012 when she was arrested 5 times within a 4-week span. God bless you. She served 114 days in jail in 2014, then was arrested for DUIs 3 times in the span of 2 months. Hall of Fame numbers we're looking at here. In 2015, she was arrested again in 2016 and spent time in jail until early 2007. After that, she was arrested for 2 more DUIs in early 2018. There'll be a quiz later. Please take notes. Jailed again and released on parole in October 2018. A bench warrant for her arrest was issued in February 2019, and she spent over a full year in prison up until this past February. So there you go.
Yeah. All right, listen. She's had a lot of chances. She's done rehab. She's done this. She's done that. She seems to fall into the same category every time of the classic addict. I might need to hit rock bottom and maybe go to jail for a while.
I mean, it's saying, well, I mean, I guess it all depends on what you view it for a while. Yeah, but yeah, apparently she spent like 114 days in jail.
Well, maybe she needs 115.
No, fuck this. No. Get this bitch off the street, man. Like, it's bad enough. We got to worry about, seriously, man. We got to worry about this mass shit, COVID, and all that kind of shit. She's been driving under the influence. She's a danger to herself and other people on the fucking road.
Now,
the best thing to do is get this bitch off the road, get her locked up behind bars for as long as humanly fucking possible.
Now hold on, Anthony. There was no DUI in this situation at all. Not in this situation. This all stemmed from a phone call. That's it. A phone call. Probably one of those, oh, I miss you, I want to see you, oh, come on, I'll suck your dick calls.
Mm-hmm.
And he called the cops.
Pills, you forgot that.
And maybe pills. Some pills, I'll suck your dick for pills. Allegedly.
Right.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I guess.
Right, I guess.
was the male caller Sabu?
I don't know. Like a lot of dicks for pills, let's be fair.
And where was I? But one way or another, I do hope she maybe she needs to hit rock bottom. I don't know. I know that's what people say is, oh, those addicts, they got to hit rock bottom and then they can bring it back up. Well, she's been to jail.
What's rock bottom? She got arrested like 4 or 5 times in the span of like a week.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where. Unfortunately, everybody's rock bottom is different. I don't know where hers is.
I feel like, and I mean, this is morbid, but I feel like there's really only one way that this ends. I think you kind of know where I'm going with that.
The bottom of a rock.
Well, I feel like Tammy Sitch is the rock bottom that people hit when they realize, fuck, man, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
She's 47.
Yeah.
Like, as context, like, this isn't a thing that you grow out of.
Yeah.
Like, she is 47, and she's, like, getting charged with, like, not paying these, like, court fees and all these, like, stuff that she's gotten in trouble for. And the thing about that is that it was being reported that, like, she was making, like, $30,000 or some shit off of just, like, selling pictures of her butthole alone.
Dude, she was making 6 figures off of which is $100,000 minimum off of selling pictures of her butthole to people.
Mm-hmm. And having fucking Jay Harp promote it, which is why I'm glad that she doesn't get bond this time, because I don't want JR wasting his money trying to get her out so that he can fucking toss it and toss it.
Oh, you know JR's got a freebie on that shit, bro. Come on, man.
and this piece of shit. Remember, I guess, like, you know how WWE has, like, the whole sponsor, you know, like, if you work for us, doesn't matter how long, as long as you work for us, we'll pay for your rehab and all that kind of shit. I guess at one point they were paying for her rehab and they stopped because I guess they figured it's not sinking in. And then this bitch goes public with the fact, well, you paid for Scott Hall to go to rehab like 3, 4, 5 times. And I guess the response she got from the company was, well, you're not Scott Hall. And they kept it at that.
That's good enough, man. Good enough for me.
Man, I don't know, man. See, like imagine DDP bringing her in. I mean, she'd be just banging Jake and banging Sky and
I don't know. DDP would try to help her out, and he seems to have like the patience of fucking Gandhi. But I guarantee he'd be like, within 1 week, he'd be like, Diamond Cutter, bitch, you got to get the fuck out.
Oh, fuck that, dude. The accountability house would turn into the fucking Bunny Ranch. Oh, I'm sorry, the Sunny Ranch. There you go. That was bad. But I do hope something sparks in her where she's like, I'm too old for this shit. I've got to stop it. But I will say she was at least sober this time. She did elude police and do a few things. She was driving on a suspended license again. But hopefully she'll straighten out, man.
But seriously though, like, what does it say about how much of a fuck up that she is that long-time habitual fuck-ups, Jake Robertson, Scott Hall, have stayed clean and sober longer than she's been able to maintain any type of sobriety?
Well,
like seriously, it's like it feels like for like the past decade plus, 15, 20 years, you'll hear, well, I'm going to school, you know, I'm done with wrestling, I'm going to school to be a fucking nurse. I'm going to be a pilot. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Arrest. I'm fucking this one. Arrest. DUI.
It's ironic that she hates black people as much as she does because she pretty much is DMX. Oh, they're the same person.
No, she takes it on the low. She just doesn't want to admit it.
Perhaps.
My God, the only.
I mean, there were those rumors for real going out there for a while that like her and New Jack were entangled. If I can bring up a line.
Ooh, nice callback, man.
Nice. Because he had even said they like he got accused of like her trying to get him to like kill somebody, and he was like, "I can do it, that crazy bitch," which is more or less like an exact quote from him, and not me just like making some shit up. But you know, it is what it is.
And hey, in New Jack's defense, he was fucking Terry at one point, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that he was banging Sonny at some point. She just don't want to cop to it. But if gun on my head, New Jack has more credibility with me than fucking Sonny, for the simple fact that New Jack is somebody that owns his shit. Positive, negative, he owns all of it.
I mean, we know Dolph banged Sonny. Dolph was proud of it. Dolph was like, my mark out moment.
And she also has the picture, so
she does. She said she has pictures, which I don't.
No, she released one of them. Like, remember?
No,
she released one with with Sonny. With I guess Dolph was passed out in the back. I guess apparently it was like a marathon, 6-7 hour sex session.
Yeah, look, we got Doug in the chat. How you doing, Doug?
What's happening, Doug?
Yeah.
What's going on, Doug?
Doug Hummer in the chat. What's up, Doug? Long time no see.
Long time. Shit, I haven't spoken to Doug, and has been a couple of years at this point.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Doug. Long time. Good to see you again.
Hey, I want to say real quick, though, as disgusted as I am about the thought of anybody fucking Tammy Sitch, I like the thought of Dolph Ziggler fucking a chick. And this is something I wish he would do. Every time he fucks a chick, I wish he would say, "You just got the DZ."
And on that note, guys, because I do want to get back to
I have to, and we will. And I'm sorry to derail you yet again. I want to read something that I saw here on old social media, and I'm not going to tell you who this is from until afterwards to build up anticipation. Okay, it is relevant to the whole Sunny thing, and it's a statement, and it goes as follows. Please, just absolutely stop this right now. To the low-life creeps who keep sending me messages asking the same question over and over again, would you bang Tammy Sitch? Have you ever banged Tammy Sitch? Let me stop you right there. Yes, she has just become relevant again, obviously for all the wrong reasons. Parentheses, nothing new there. So all of you 40-year-old virgins still living at home in your mom's basement who are all frothing at the mouth about Tammy, I say this to you loud and clear. I seriously wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Stop asking, for fuck's sake. If you want the lowdown on her, just ask Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. He'll be happy to fill you in. For those idiots that don't know who that is, Google it. Now, unlike you, the face of AEW has a life and fabulous career to focus on. Now, please back off. That, of course, was from MJF. I just wanted to kind of build anticipation, and I just thought it was funny that he took time out of his day to make it publicly and perfectly clear that he did not fuck her.
Now, and to be perfectly clear, that's not an actual MJF account.
God damn it.
No, it's not. It's not. But the guy is great who does it.
Box, I actually just sent you something. I want you to play. It's like 2 minutes 17, and then Antox, I promise we will get to fucking we'll get back to AEW proper. But just to kind of preface what I'm about to show you, and just to kind of highlight how much of a fucking scumbag Sonny is, and Shawn Michaels as well during this time period. Mind you, this is when she was in a full-on, whole-ass relationship with another man, and this is on air. This is an on-air promo. To kind of like, it's more visual. But basically, this is Shawn cutting a promo ahead of his match with Bulldog at the One Night Only pay-per-view over in England. Jolly old England. That's the match where, like, after the match, the New England crowd was so pissed off, they do fucking shit at the ring, trash, because they were legitimately pissed that their hometown hero lost the match that he had dedicated to his dying sister. Shawn being Shawn, I'm winning that match. But he cuts a little promo, and Sonny's the interviewer, and he fucks with her in a very unique way. Box, you have the visual in front of you.
I do.
You'll get what I'm saying.
And it's funny right on the other side of this video, where the also could play is the Victory Road and Jeff Hardy's Sting incident. Just to throw that out there,
and to also point out, this is one of those infamous '90s promos where Shawn is fucking blown.
Oh yeah,
so to speak. And you'll get what I'm saying. He's into it. He's into it, but kind of out of it. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, this is the WWF One Night Only pay-per-view from 1997.
Yes.
So here we go. Play.
People in live and pay-per-view all over Europe. It's going to be one of the biggest events that I've stepped and walked out in front of.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I told you I'd get the exclusive. I'm right here with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And Shawn, I kind of have to mention that if you beat the Bulldog, you're going to be the first American to hold the European title, as well as the first wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation to hold all 4 titles. What do you think about that? It's pretty impressive.
Well, it's pretty impressive. It's not quite as impressive as what I'm holding right now, but I have to tell you, the reason the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, came over here was for one reason, and one reason, well, now that I see you, 2 reasons, but first and foremost, he was to become the first man in the World Wrestling Federation to hold all 4 titles. Now, I was thinking about it, what do we call that? I've already been a Triple Crown winner, as you know, so I'm thinking to myself, the Babe Ruth, the man who called his shot, the man who called it, the Grand Slam winner. That's me, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the first man in the World Wrestling Federation. He's the only guy to hold the World Wrestling Federation Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, the Tag Team Championship, and now the European Championship of the World Wrestling Federation, the first Grand Slam winner, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And what I'm guessing is, what am I going to call myself when I've got all 4 titles and I got you, baby, right next to me? What am I? Believe me, I'm called a winner. A capital W, an N with a big R. I'm feeling awfully Randy. You know that? Can you feel it?
Oh yeah, I can feel it.
All right. All right. You ready, Bulldog? You're going down. You're going down. Thank you very much.
Okay, just to give you a visual. She's sitting on his lap. I think at one point he's biting her nipple. Seriously, she looks up at the camera like, he's biting my nipple.
Did you get the vibe that he was also fingering her at one point?
Maybe at one point, but I gotta say, in this video, I see in young Shawn Michaels a lot of Matt Riddle for some reason.
I'm still having a hard time getting over the investigative journalism that is. Did you ever get the vibe at one point that he was fingering her?
Maybe.
I feel like that is the most like Tom Brokaw's question I've ever heard.
I want to hear that question in every interview.
So, did you get the vibe he was maybe, I don't know, fingering her, maybe diddling? I don't know. Possibly diddling. No, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, so this Alexa Bliss promo was great, but do you think she's ever had a finger in her ass?
Yes!
Dr. Fauci, serious question.
Yes.
But let the record show that Shawn Michaels is so much of an MVP that he could be somewhat out of his mind, but still keep it together for a 2-minute promo. I mean, you could tell, like I said, he kind of slurred a little bit, lost his train of thought a few different times, but he got through it.
Yeah, and still, man, that goes back to the era that I love, man. I hate the scripted shit, man. I love pro wrestling, and that right there was pro wrestling.
Yeah,
I miss that.
Absolutely, man. I do too. I really, really do. And seeing this shit we're seeing now is just, it's not even a placeholder, man. It's just never coming back to what it was. And we just need to accept it. And I'm trying, man. I'm trying every fucking week, man.
I mean, is there any part of you, like, at all that thinks it's somewhat possible? Because, I mean, if you think about it, like, look at the 80s. Like the 80s, you had everybody who had, I don't need to tell you everybody that was there, but you had Savage, Piper, Hogan, all those people. It was super hot. It was great. It was wonderful, what have you. And then you hit the early to mid 90s. And you went from seeing like fucking, Hogan and Savage to fucking Tatanka and Mantar. Like it was a steep decline for a minute there. But then right after that, it became the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest like boom ever for wrestling. Like the time when it was at like its most financially successful, critically acclaimed. And I don't necessarily think that it would necessarily get to that level again. But like, it has been a longer period of time from like when the Attitude Era fizzled out to where we are now versus, the 80s to the Attitude Era. But like at some point, like you just imagine just the way that things work with everything being kind of cyclical, that we'd eventually hit a rebound at some point. Like, I don't know what that would look like, but at some point you just have to imagine it for the benefit of us, because even just to be selfish, watching this shit every week, that it would at some point get better.
Well, you know what it is? To kind of pretty much sum it up, there are no more outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
A big part of why wrestling is where it's at right now is the death of the territories. It is a lack of options, to put it bluntly. Back in the day, like guys had balls because they knew if they didn't like a situation working for Vince, WCW was always there, or any number of territories were always there for them to go to if they didn't like their situation where they were at currently. Now, once those were stripped away, and then once those were stripped away, then slowly the outlaws of the profession started to get weeded out. They lasted as long as WCW lasted, but then once WCW went away, once ECW went away, they slowly fizzled out. And literally you were left with the guys that were already established. They're the only ones that had voices left. Anybody that came in after like your Austins, your Rocks, were basically going to be pre-programmed the way Vince wanted them to be. They weren't going to come in as individual thinkers. Like guys like Shawn and Hogan and Flair and Rock, they were cut from a different cloth. They came from like the School of Hard Knocks, where you had to scratch and claw for everything you got. Nowadays, these guys are literally getting paid to train. They're getting put up in 5-star hotels. They don't have a reason to want to rock the boat.
Well, and it's funny you say nowadays, and we're in the most different times we've ever been in nowadays. So there is no boat to rock. If you've got a boat, you're fucking in good shape. Because a lot of these guys don't even have a boat that they can rock, Anthony. And obviously I'm talking about, indie wrestling and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, right now, man, there's nowhere to go, which is why, everybody was kind of freaking out when the whole 30-man release happened. And it's just, yeah. But yeah, you're right. No one wants to rock the boat. But I mean, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go?
And I don't disagree with you. But I think that's the problem now with everybody trying to, and I'm not trying to be the person, and I know it's going to come across as it is, but I'm not trying to be the person that's like, Attitude Era rules, thumbs up if you agree. That's what it needs to be. These people are getting too soft and weak, and fuck them. And I don't want to be that person. But like the problem, I think, is that it's trying to become too commercialized. Like there's too much trying to pander to certain sponsors and to try to be more appropriate and sanitized, and it basically just ends up becoming like kind of homogenized and just so it's boring and just adjectives upon adjectives. I can go all day with that, but when you create this kind of structure of just corporate wrestling where you don't want your characters to be too out there, you don't want anyone saying anything that's too provocative, you kind of put a muzzle on what people can be, and that creates an echo chamber, in my opinion, because you're going to have people on the independent scene that their overall goal is to get there, to get to a WWE or an AEW, So they're going to purposely be mindful of the person that they are and the character that they present. So, like, nobody's going to be outlaws. Nobody's going to be risky or provocative or interesting because you know that you're not going to end up there if you do so. Because, I mean, like, if you look at right now, and okay, whether you're a fan of the guy or not is irrelevant. I'm not a huge fan, but I see his appeal and I like him from time to time. Nick Gage. Like, Nick Gage is a perfect example of he already knows that he's not fucking going to WWE ever because of what he did. So he's just like coming out there and he's just being himself and just being this fucking wild character, being this wild person. And there's a sense of just organicness that is who he is, or that, that's a character that he feels comfortable portraying. And because it's so honest and personal, it appeals to the crowd and it's easy to get behind. And he has perhaps maybe overly excessive, but he has a legion of fans behind him that are just fucking super diehard, and that's probably the reason.
And honestly, we listened to those clips earlier where the crowd was going nuts for a fucking Bagwell promo, a fucking Scott Steiner promo, and like I said, they were a little scatterbrained, kind of like our show can be from time to time. But to me, I feel like there's a certain charm in that because, as we've seen, when something is too structured and something is too paint by numbers, it's boring, it's bland. You have to be able to roll with the punches. And back in the day, I just feel like if something wasn't working in a match or a promo, that generation knew how to think on their feet and to dip and to pivot. Nowadays, you got guys that are so fucking petrified about, if I don't say things exactly A, B, C, and D, I'm going to get chewed out in the back. And they're afraid to pivot. They're afraid to deviate. Like, yeah, I know the crowd's not digging what I'm saying, but this is what the boss wants, so I got to give it to him. Because if you look at that whole attitude era, I ain't going to cut you off, Bobby.
I cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm going to be real quick with this. That was never Vince's intention. The whole reason the attitude era came to be a thing is because WCW was breathing down his neck. He had to. He basically had to. It was at that point, the gloves had to come off. But if you notice, when Vince Russo was pushed out, well, not pushed out, he left. But when he was out of the picture, slowly but surely, all of those hypersexual characters got toned the fuck down real quick. Val Venus, toned down. Godfather, toned down. All the over-sexualized elements of the product when Vince Russo was there got super toned down. And then once the Attitude Era, once they had clearly won the war, a lot of those elements were gone. They were still edgy, but they weren't as prevalent. And that's because that wasn't Vince's wheelhouse. He didn't want to do that. I feel like for the past decade plus, we've been going through a whole Vince McMahon apology tour. He's spent the past 15, 20 years apologizing for that 4 or 5 year Attitude Era run.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shame.
He's still apologizing for making Trish bark like a dog.
Well, that was fucking stupid. Like I was a big fan of the Attitude, but come on, we can all agree. In the moment, in hindsight, doesn't matter. That was just a bad fucking move, man.
Oh, I mean, it was a horrible move, but I kind of wanted her to bark like a dog too. I got to admit.
I mean, we all have red things.
I mean, it was. I mean, I kind of would have. Yeah. Anyway. But
I'm sorry, Bobby. What you have to say?
Yeah, please, Bobby, please.
No. I was just going to comment on the whole the wrestlers being afraid to pivot thing. The thing is, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong on this, or if you have a different opinion on this, but I don't even think it's that they're afraid to pivot. With a generation of wrestlers have been bred in the WWE, particularly, who have no idea how to pivot. And the perfect example of that, or the perfect case supporting that, is when they started doing shows without an audience. What were the wrestlers doing? They were still coming out and playing to empty chairs because they didn't know how not to.
Mm-hmm.
They did what they were trained to do. They pretended that there were people out there because they didn't know any other possible way to do it. That shows that they have no idea how to pivot. They don't know how to think on their feet. We all saw Braun get flustered when he forgot his script. He had no idea what to do. And Heyman called him out on that. You know, we've seen other wrestlers do the same thing, you know, so I don't think it's even that they're afraid to. They just don't know how. And to me, that supports, unfortunately, my belief that if pro wrestling does come back the way that it used to be, it's going to be a while. I don't think, I mean, like, let's say that the crowds come back tomorrow, you know, let's say that the virus is just gone and everything goes back to normal. I still think it'll be a very, very long time before pro wrestling has a chance of coming back and being as popular, because it's just not good anymore. There's no denying that the wrestlers are more athletic than they've ever been before. You know, they're a lot, you know, they're taking better care of themselves than they used to. They do more amazing shit. You know, more people have bodies now. More people have muscles. You know, they're on the right supplements or food or whatever it is that they're on. You know, of course, obviously, some of them are still on some other shit, but for the most part, they take better care of themselves nowadays. So they are more athletic. But that's where it starts and ends. You know, their promos are trash because they're forced to fucking read these shitty, really, really shitty scripts. We got shitty actors reading shitty scripts, you know? I mean, and that's just, I can't go back to watching because it disgusts me. It disgusts me when I listen to podcasts and wrestlers are being praised for how well they read a script in a promo. And for me, I'm like, it's still shitty compared to what I used to watch. I don't fucking believe them. I just can't believe it. It's just not believable anymore. And what's even worse than all of that is going back to what we were saying earlier. The wrestlers are too goddamn sensitive. They are too fucking sensitive. And I am offended when somebody tells me that I, as a fan, am not allowed to have an opinion about a thing. And that seems to be the overwhelming view and opinion of the majority of wrestlers. They hate the fact that we watch them and have opinions. So I'm sure other fans have the opinion that I have, where they're like, well, if I'm not allowed to express my views on this shit that I'm watching from them, then fuck them. I don't want to watch it at all. Obviously, I'm not the only one, because before the crowds went away, the crowds were already going away. You know?
Oh, man.
Go ahead. I don't need to rant anymore. I think I pretty much got my point.
You disrespectful prick. Who the hell have you pinned, Bobby?
Oh, and honestly, like, I feel like, you know, this whole conversation we've had for like almost 2 hours that we've been on, I feel like this is like pretty much a microcosm of where we are with the wrestling business in 2020. It's just not fucking interesting. I'm sorry. Like, we can sit here and say, well, AEW had a good match, Raw had a good match, NXT had a good match, but once you get past the mechanics of the good match, the shit is fucking boring. I'm going to see if I can find the clip, but remember that promo at the height of the fucking authority that Triple H cut? You know, he talked about Mark. You know, my friend Mark said the show sucks and I'm not going to watch. But I'm still going to watch. I'm just going to get on the internet and complain. Yeah. But I'm still going to be. But basically, it took some time, but eventually they eroded their fan base. WWE has eroded their fan base to the point where, I mean, look, I get it. They're making money, but it's still not a good look when literally on a week-to-week basis, you get record low ratings, record low viewership. The goddamn demos. I mean, I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure those are still stable because USA is happy. The networks are still happy with the demos.
The perfect example I can give to you of this, it legitimately made me laugh. I was listening to on Monday. Yeah, Monday. It had to have been Monday. The Observer Live, and they were talking about the good news. And we're talking about ratings. Is that the SmackDown rating went up. Because last week it was the 4th of July weekend, so they had like one of their like lowest rating segments of all time. It was like the lowest rated SmackDown of all time, genuinely. And okay, so the ratings went up, and because the ratings went up, Well, the SmackDown that just happened is now the second lowest rated SmackDown. so it's like it's not the worst, but it's the second worst. That's what your improvement looks like. It's just so fucking bad. Like, and I kind of wish we would have talked about this a little bit more last week, but like, that's what I like about that Heath Slater promo that happened on Raw last week. Was it seemed like he was like an actual person talking. Like it wasn't when I watch Raw, mainly, especially Raw, but when I watch Raw, it feels like a fucking infomercial. Because everybody has their catchphrase, everybody has their nickname. Because the catchphrase is on the t-shirt, and you want to sell the t-shirt, you have to mention the nickname and the catchphrase at least once per promo. Like it seems like it's like if you remember, if you ever watched Pee-wee's Playhouse, like they had the word of the day, and you're supposed to scream it anytime somebody said the word of the day. So they obviously wrote segments of the show that were based on somebody saying that word or getting to say that word. That was like the payoff.
Yeah,
and
that's the word of the day, Cherry. Come on, tell me.
Yeah, and it kind of like, but you kind of hit the nail on the head, Smart, with that Heath Slater promo. It's a big, it's a big reason why. Even though I know a lot of he's very divisive, he has a lot of divided opinions on him. But it's one of the reasons why I'll always be a fan of New Jack. From the time I was a kid and I first saw him, there's an air of danger and authenticity with everything that he says. You felt his pain. Anything he talked about, you just felt like this guy is legitimately pissed off and he's ready to tear shit up. Like he felt like a legitimate. There was a legitimate sense of danger whenever he was in a ring for a match, whenever he was behind a microphone.
Yeah, when he said he was going to kill you, he really did try to kill you.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. And to me, that's what. But honestly, that's what wrestling is. That you want to believe that these people are going to beat the shit out of you.
I mean, he was.
You want to believe. You want to believe that element of danger. Box, come on. You grew up in the '80s. You grew up with the Hansons and the Funks and the badasses of the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
And there was a certain era of believability. Well, maybe not Rock and Roll Express, but hey, you still had Brody.
Hey. Don't you do that. Don't you fucking disrespect him, you fucking prick. Who have you pinned, Anthony?
I'm just saying, Brody would have beat the fuck out of Ricky Morton.
Show me your resume. Give me your fucking resume. Oh, God, I just turned into fucking Davey Richards. Linger longer. All right, Anthony, you want me to play that little promo?
Yes, the Mark promo.
Yes, the Triple H one you mentioned earlier.
By the way, I gotta say before you hit play box, this promo has not aged well, given the current state of the ratings.
No, not.
Now I'll admit, I'm mad. I am very mad today. I am madder than I have ever been in a long time, but I have options on how I handle this. I have options. You know what I'm going to do about it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tweet my displeasure. That's right. I'm going to jump on social media and I'm going to tweet about it until my fingers bleed. I might even send an Instagram or a Vine.
Jesus.
That's right. And on that tweet, in that tweet, and however many characters I get, I am going to threaten. That's right. If I don't get what I want, I'm going to riot. And if that doesn't work, then by God, me and my friend Mark, we're going to stop watching. That's right. Or, you know what? Or hell, I have options. Or I could just fire everybody back there. I'll fire all of you. Maybe I just throw you out of the building. Throw you out in the weather. That'll end all my problems, right? Or, you know what? Or I could just relax. I could relax knowing that sooner or later I always win.
All right.
Now, keep in mind, in like 3 or 4 years, he's going to be doing a show full of people that are attended by people that are the exact description of what he was just complaining about.
Yes.
Because a good number of those people that were bitching ended up becoming NXT sheep.
Yeah, probably exactly who he's talking to right now. Exactly. Now, I mean, look, I get where he's coming from, and this was his reaction to the first the Battleground pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, so this would have been like 2013, and
Right.
and like I said, I'm Antox in the chat. I'm sure he has like the numbers pulled up. Whatever the numbers were back in 2013, they probably weren't great, but they were still pretty solid. It took some time, but here we are, 7 years or almost 7 years after that pay-per-view took place, and look where the numbers are now. So eventually, you tell people enough, if you're not happy, don't watch. Eventually, they're going to take you up on that. Right. And I feel like it's an indictment. Like I said, look, we're living in unprecedented times, and obviously everybody has more important, pressing things to worry about than professional wrestling. But it's a sad state of affairs when there are literally no fresh options out there in terms of entertainment. People are essentially trapped in their homes with nothing to do, and pro wrestling still can't draw shit. That's an indictment of where the product is presently. And it's not even a matter of the talent. And because, like I said, the talent is there. It's just a matter of what they are allowing these people to do and show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and Anthony, you're right. If you tell people, if you don't like it, turn the fucking channel, or just relax and know that in the end I always win. No, that's not what we want to do. Listen, a lot of us fans have been watching this shit show because hopefully it turns around, and hopefully it turns around, and hopefully it turns around. And we've been watching so goddamn long, we're just fucking in the habit of watching. But some people, like I've been saying, you go 1 week without it, you're like, oh man, I missed it. I'll catch up on it. You know, I can watch it anywhere. I can download it. I can watch it here. I can watch it there. You know, on USA to Go or whatever it's called. But eventually, you miss 1 week, you miss 2, you miss 3, and you realize something. I don't really need to do it. I got other shit to do on Mondays. And right now, a lot of people got other shit to do than fucking watch wrestling. So I don't know, man. I just think eventually, I mean, all the people, no one in the audience, and the shows are just looking grim, and it just reminds people of the time we're in. Believe it or not, actually having wrestling keeping going is just reminding people of the time we were in. That's all it's doing. When that's why I was shocked on SmackDown the other night. WWE decided to play another a Money in the Bank match between, what was it, Braun and Bray, but with no fans. Why don't you go back and play a match with fans to remind people what it was like? And hey, we're gonna get back to this one day. No, nah. Why would we do that? Let's go ahead and play this match without fans just to kill fucking time.
Right. And I thought that was actually kind of interesting that you brought that up, because I kind of thought, in my opinion, it was a good idea. Not that match particularly, but I mean, they had their reason for doing that because it was their first match and they're having their second match Sunday. So whatever, that makes sense. But like they were showing before, when this very first started, they were showing like matches from like the Elimination Chamber, and they would show like Royal Rumble or whatever the fuck. And I thought that was actually a good idea, because like it kind of incentivizes you if you don't have the network and for whatever reason you don't know how or don't wish to steal it, you could actually watch for free like these pay-per-view matches like on SmackDown every week. I thought that would actually be a good idea. Mm-hmm. But it turns out that that's like some of the segments that when they do that are like some of the lowest segments. Because normally, I guess that stands to reason, because, obviously the people that are watching, I guess if you're watching SmackDown at this point, you either have the network or know where to find the pay-per-views. So, I guess it didn't end up working out well for them, because like I was saying, every time they do that, it's like one of their lowest rated segments, but it actually kind of surprised me that it ended up turning out that way.
Yeah, and I really think, if you're watching Raw or SmackDown at this point, you're watching because you're the hardcore fan, and that's really all that I think they got left, man. That's why the Wednesday numbers are the way they are, the Friday numbers. That's why they're getting the lowest of the low right now. The casual fans don't care right now to watch it. Why would they? What exactly?
And I'll be honest. I'll be honest.
Go ahead. No. Go, please.
No. I guess just real quick. I was just going to say, like, they show like these matches from recent pay-per-views a month ago, a couple weeks ago. I'd be very curious to see what a real retro match would do, ratings wise. Like, seriously, throw an old school Rock Austin match on a random episode of Raw or SmackDown. I almost think they're almost afraid because I feel like they're like people will be reminded about how it used to be, and they don't want to draw attention to the fact that this generation that we got right now is pretty bland. It's pretty like literally we've kind of cultivated a generation of pussies.
No,
you know what I mean? Like seriously, like you had people like that's a bad word. I don't even want to say pussies as much as I feel like they've kind of beaten people down. Like somebody like a Ziggler at once upon a time, I would imagine he strikes me as somebody that is very passionate he was very passionate at one point, had a lot of ideas about his career, but after a while he just got tired and just, checks his clan brother, pay me whatever you need me to do, I'm there. And Zack Ryder probably was at that point. I guarantee you he was at that point by the end. The checks was clearing, dream job, they gotta fire me, but I'm not gonna pitch no more ideas. Like, think about it. Like, he literally got himself over organically. They shit on him. They shit on him for years. He got himself in incredible shape. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the like, I'm sorry. At that point, I'm surprised that dude wasn't suicidal. Because remember, like, towards the end of his run, he got himself in, like, super shredded, all his good, and he's on fucking, man, he's wasting away. They wrote it into his storyline that he hadn't been on Raw, hadn't had a match on Raw in years. That was a storyline for this dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how many times we've talked Zack Ryder on this show and praised that guy for the fucking shit he went through. But yeah, I mean, he's a great example. Ziggler is another good example of a guy who probably is just fucking given up, and whatever shit they have for me, I'm just going to fucking put every fucking ounce I have into it and go from there. And I'm sorry, but right now people are seeing what's going on more than ever because it's really all you got. I mean, I know businesses have opened back up in a lot of places, but California locked back down today, basically. Mm-hmm. Texas is on the verge of it, is from the shit I'm hearing, from the local shit around here. So, Anthony put up a thing yesterday where, the Philly can't do any, or Philly or Pennsylvania? Is it Pennsylvania or Philly?
Basically, it's no gatherings of over 50 or more, 50 and under until February of 2021. Our mayor has basically shut us down.
Right.
Until February, so it's fucking Thanksgiving, parades, New Year's, all of that shit is basically canceled. 2020 is fucking dead, and the first 2 months, we've already lost the first 2 months of 2021.
Well, and I mean, things can change. Those things can be lifted, things like that. And I mean, really, who's got 50 people at Thanksgiving? That's a lot of fucking people, man. That's a goddamn platoon.
Nah, but once again, not to get like super political, but just because of where we're at right now with the fucking mask shit, like Philly, we really kind of set ourselves back a lot with a lot, like I said, the gatherings, people not wanting to adhere to like the social distancing shit, the mask. So I'm pretty like, I like to be positive, but I'm pretty positive on the fact that we're going to be shut down until 2021 at the earliest. Dude, which that's what we need at this point. We need a solid plan like that. I mean, it sucks that a lot of events are going to be shut down and it's going to be no kind of like social gatherings for a while, but that's kind of what we need at this point.
Hey man, if it works, it works. That's fine. I got no issues with it. And like I said, if it works quicker than we think, they lift it. They change it. It can always be changed. But hey man, even I'm wearing a fucking mask. I mean, it's a mandate around here. You can't walk into anywhere without one. And I hate it. My kids hate it. But shit, I am not going to be a fucking viral video. Plain and simple. I'm not going to be a viral video. So I'll mask up just for that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
So that got...
Go ahead.
No, so that got bleak.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting here going. I mean, we can sit here and review AEW and Raw, but should we?
I mean, I guess just for the sake of continuity and for the sake of our awesome chat room, which once again, love you guys sincerely, but and we hope you've been entertained thus far, even though we haven't gotten to the actual reviews. But in our defense, is there really a lot to get into anymore? I mean, like AEW tonight, start there. I'm sorry, go ahead, Smart.
Well, if you want to start with AEW, then just go ahead. I had something, but that was based on Raw, so you can go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, well, T, I'm going to credit you with this. I got a Cody Rhodes match on my fucking birthday.
Could there be a better present? Could there be any bigger honor?
And Antox, stop. And Antox, I want you to timestamp this one for me, bro. I want you to timestamp this one. I want to give credit where credit is due. I have shit on Sonny Kiss many times, and as long as he continues to twerk, I will do so. But he put in a damn good showing tonight. That I was very impressed with that match. Very impressed. And kudos to Cody for did you guys see him just standing up for old Sonny Boy on the Twitter?
Yes. And I agreed with every word he said, man. That was not a good fucking tweet, number one. And I mean, yeah, Sonny Kiss. Why would anyone even bother saying that? And that guy added Cody. He tagged Cody in that tweet. I don't have that up there, but yeah, Cody did stand up for him and basically told the guy he was disgusting, and he's proud to be in the ring with Sonny Kiss. And after this match, I can see why he was. Yeah, I mean,
he's very legitimately you can feel however you want to feel. You can kind of because he is a bit of a gimmick. Not that I'm saying that he's not a genuine, that's how he lives his life or whatever, but he is a little bit more, there's a little bit more of a pageantry about him than there is, certain other wrestlers. And nowadays, if you don't have, there's a certain sector of the crowd that if you're not wearing just fucking black trunks and black kick pads, they're not down with you. But he very much is a very, talented wrestler. Having him on the roster is not at all a publicity stuff. When he was in Lucha Underground, he had a feud with Jack Evans, and the matches they had were really fucking entertaining. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, and honestly, Sonny Kiss was dancing better than the thick little blonde over his right shoulder. What I noticed? Did anyone else notice?
He fully committed to it. He was put everything he had into that.
He was, man, and like I said, man, that thick blonde couldn't even keep up with him.
And honestly, like I said, I can't remember every match. I think they said this was his Cody's sixth TNT title defense. I want to say that of the matches I've seen thus far, I want to say this is probably my favorite.
Probably definitely up there, man. Real quick, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
I know you didn't watch any of this. Do you want to? You want to hang with us? You want to?
It's probably going to be over soon, for whatever that's worth.
I'll just hang out. But yeah, nice. No, I did not watch. Just to touch back a little bit, for the listeners, I'm sorry, we're not going to veer back off of the show, but for me, it is not a gimmick when I say I do not watch pro wrestling anymore. I'm not one of those fans who threatens not to watch anymore because I don't like it anymore. I flat out don't watch it because I don't like the show anymore. Yeah. I'm still a pro wrestling fanatic. It's in my heart. It's in my veins. I love pro wrestling, but I just don't like what's going on these days. So I just don't watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll hang out because I still like hearing about it.
All right. Bobby and his friend Mark are threatening not to like and watch. Oh, okay. Okay.
Shocked, Bobby.
What I do?
You don't screenshot the cancellation page of the WWE Network whenever they do like a shitty pay-per-view? I'm going to hit that cancel button. I mean it, Vince. I'm going to hit it. I'm not going to get my $10.
I actually kind of feel like you might be potentially a savior for wrestling if you could just at one point just call WWE headquarters and just be like, because I imagine that the people that they have calling their headquarters or complaining to them publicly sound like a lot more like me, or just kind of nerdy. And like if you call up like WWE headquarters and you get the lady from Beyond the Mat, you have her transfer you to Vince. If you're just like, hey, I got the pictures, fucking get better. You will see a product get better.
Oh, God. I like that. I do like that.
Especially with that voice, they'll believe you in a heartbeat. You and New Jack. If you were New Jack called WWE headquarters, motherfucker, I got the picture. Like Vince, we have a Jerome Young.
He's like a nice guy. He doesn't quite seem like a Denzo, but he seems like he'd be Denzo pal.
I've seen New Jack in person. I got a high five from him, and he damn near ripped my arm off. And he is a terrifying human being, especially when he's fucked up on cocaine, which he was when I saw him.
Well, that's not surprising at all. All right, so we said we weren't going to veer off. We just lied. I was giving Bobby an out. That's all I was doing. I was just trying to give Bobby an out real quick.
And I appreciate it, but I'm going to hang and just listen.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, so the Sunny Kiss match, great match. Really good match. I was actually surprised it was a kickoff match, believe it or not.
Yeah, a little bit.
I will
say I also feel a little bad for JR. Because, I don't feel like he's hateful at all, but I feel like he's just really flummoxed as to how he's supposed to refer to Sunny Kiss as. Because, if you listen to him call it on commentary, it keeps alternating between he and she. And it doesn't, he seems like he's, worried that no matter what he says, it's going to piss off a certain portion of the crowd. He's like, I don't know what to call him.
The Nyla thing has him a little confused, first of all. And then he sees Sunny, who... is sitting there in booty shorts and, yellow, and he's like, I'm just not sure what to do here, but Excalibur, help me out. He, she, it, what the hell am I supposed to say here, man?
I'm going to pull a Baba Anthem and lay out.
I feel like you can't, people who were upset with JR for this, and I only know this from hearing it on the show, people who were upset with JR, come the fuck on, man. There's no malice there.
No.
He just genuinely doesn't know. He's an old man who has lived in a world a certain way for a long time, and he just doesn't know. Give the man a chance to learn.
He's an old Southerner, too. Let's be honest here. Let's just flat out say it. He's an old Southerner who grew up in a world that, thought a different way. And, yeah, he's going to have a little trouble with this, knowing what to say, who and how to say it, and how not to offend someone some way.
Right. He's out there trying.
Yeah,
give him credit for that.
Let's give him some credit. I agree.
And let's be honest. For somebody that learned, that sat under the learning tree of Bill Watts, the fact that fucking Jim Ross is as progressive as he is, hey, we should be happy. Because he could have went a totally different direction. Because he fucking was with Watts for a long stretch of time in his early career, so he could have came in a totally different way.
Yeah, definitely. But all right, let's see here.
Should we point out at the top of the show? They mentioned that they explained Tony Schiavone's absence by saying he didn't get his COVID results back in time. We miss him. We miss him in the booth. But no, I only bring it up because I respect the fact that they were just straight up about he's not here because we're serious about our testing. You think that was a subtle little jab about WWE sloppy shop? The fact that they made reference to the fact that he's not here because he didn't get his test results in time, so we're gonna put him on ice this week. We miss him, but he can't be here.
Might be, you never know. All right, next match we had was the FTR versus the Lucha Brothers. For some reason, I didn't catch that last week where the truck keys were stolen. Again, I kind of had to go get a test.
I don't think it was last week either, though, because they came out doing pretty much the same entrance last week as they did this week. I don't remember when they stole them, honestly.
Well, and I had a little clip here to play. It's 1 minute and 37 seconds. And I know it's late, and I know we're going to really breeze through these fucking reviews because we have to. It's basically Wrestling Inc. did an interview with FTR, and they kind of get into that handshake deal they have a little bit. But I thought it was funny the way they kind of talk about themselves. Come on. We've got 1 minute and 37 seconds, right?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
You guys, you talked there about taking this all over the globe. The last thing I think I saw about your deal with AEW, you said it was like almost a handshake deal. I think that was the headline or something like that. Does that allow you to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling or AAA or wherever else you'd like to go? What are the restrictions on how far you can globally take what you want to do?
Right now, restrictions we have are the pandemic. That's the only restrictions we have right now. And hopefully things are going to start lightening up soon. But, yeah, it is almost a handshake deal. Tony trusts us, and we trust Tony. And we've had a lot of conversations with a lot of different guys, and Cash and myself were extremely excited about the opportunities we have in front of us.
Awesome. Well,
yeah,
go ahead,
sorry, I was going to say, there's the only, like you said, the only limitations right now, the only restriction is the pandemic, which is obviously a huge restriction, but we have our fate in our hands now. It's something that we get to call the shots. We get to control. We get to say what we want to do, when we want to do it. And if, like you said, humbly, I'll say this humbly, we are a hot commodity right now. And there's tons of things we want to do. We've always been extremely ambitious. We know that tag team wrestling hasn't always been seen as the sexiest form of wrestling. No surprise to us. But we've always been.
I would get through it before you fucking let out the little.
Wait. Okay, that's where I knew you were going to lose it.
I know my birthday's over, but can you rewind that little part?
Yeah, I can. Let me see here. Hold on, let me see.
Tons of things we want to do. We've always been extremely ambitious. We know that tag team wrestling hasn't always been seen as the sexiest form of wrestling. No surprise to us. But we've always been so ambitious, and we set goals for ourselves.
Oh wait, it was back here.
We get to call the shots. We get to control. We get to say what we want to do, when we want to do it, and if, like you said, humbly, I'll say this humbly, we are a hot commodity right now, and there's tons of things we want to do.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Go ahead, Anthony. I knew. I said, I've got to play this clip. I've got to play this clip. I read it, and I searched for the interview. And I had to find the interview, and I'm like, oh no, I got to hear this. Anthony, please tell me how much of a hot commodity they are right now. Please, come on, bring it on, come on, steaming hot, come on.
I'll preface this with they're a damn fine wrestling tag team, but this whole hot commodity nonsense is horseshit. Once we get the Bucks match, watch how far, watch how fast their stock plummets. Once people get that match out of their system, watch how fast their fucking stock plummets. They'll have good matches with other tag teams, but the money match is with the Bucks. Once that match has run its course, once that feud has run its course, watch how much people care about the fucking Revival or FTR, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, they got nowhere to go from there, man. They're
Quote me on that one. And who was that said the hot commodity? Was that a Hardwood or Dawson, whoever?
I'm not sure. Neither. They're both fucking listening to fucking paint dry. So,
I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. How else do you expect me to react? Hey, I'm going to say this humbly, guys. We're a hot commodity. Everybody wants us.
In relation to that, if I could make a request, and I know that we're trying to get through this shit. It's about 20 seconds worth of video that I would like you to play, Box, if you would indulge me. It's about if I post the link here in Mixler, if you could start at the 30-second mark, and then after about, say, 57 seconds in, you can stop. You'll know when to stop, but just roughly, I'm guessing. Okay. But if you could set that up for me, and I'll kind of ramble incoherently while you do so, as we so often do.
Okay, 30 seconds in. I am 30 seconds in right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to start from here?
Yes, and you'll know when to stop.
Okay. Here we go.
They're one of the main reasons Cash and myself decided to come to AEW, because we got a lot of cleaning up to do, and starting with the smelliest trash, and I believe that's the Lucha Brothers.
Oh! That's called getting grounded.
I don't care who is FTR.
We don't have a lot to move around the world of tag team wrestling because we own the world of tag team wrestling. But Lucha Brothers, hey, you come in and you stick your nose in our business?
Oh, wow! Nice smile. Yeah, a little posturing going on, but why not?
On Dynamite, you saw a little this.
Great aim by Ray Phoenix.
We know what they can do. We've seen it firsthand. They won the match.
But now, the friendly fire. And the LB driver.
But they didn't beat FTR, and you're never going to beat FTR.
Por favor, la siguiente lucha, sean rápidos, sean fuertes, sean... ¿Cómo se los digo? Cabrones. Sean cabrones como nosotros.
You've had your fun, but Zero Fear comes down to this one match.
FTR, ustedes creyeron que iban a llegar aquí a comer fácil, pero no es así. Porque enfrente de ustedes siempre van a tener a los Lucha Brothers.
Boy, they are just full of charisma, aren't they?
You have one guy who doesn't speak English that cut a better English promo than they did. Like, that is where you're at. But like, and you could have stopped right after he said, "Why should I care about FTR?" Even your opponents are asking why they should give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Like, that is just, it is so crazy. Like, it's amazing. Just like, I get the idea of why, you have to believe that you're special and that you matter and that you're important, just in life in general. But like, in the entertainment industry, when it's your job to sell yourself and you're supposed to be putting yourself out there. But man, like, it's just, they gotta find some kind of different characters or something, because right now it's just not it.
Well, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I guess it's kind of skipping forward to the end of the match, but one of my favorite things that I've seen them do is fail to start a pickup truck.
Yes.
That was the most entertaining thing that they did.
That was the absolute best part of the show, is when literally one of them looked up and was like, "The truck won't start," and he's trying to start. That was fucking amazing. Finally, they showed some charisma.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and like first off, like the match, like I said, the match with the Lucha Brothers, like I said, it was what you would expected. It was top notch. I just wish I could have been a fly on the wall when they actually were putting this match together. Listen here, you little jumping beans. We're going to keep this shit in the middle, all right? None of that diving over the top rope shit. I'm sorry. I could picture them fucking revival dudes pulling the old Anderson. We're going to keep this shit in the middle, boys.
And that's kind of the interesting thing. It's like, I know that we played the audio of it, but like the video has the subtitles, and like the feud is oddly kind of meta, because you basically have, and I don't know if it's in a good way or in a bad way, but you have FTR out there just basically saying that they don't like Lucha Brothers doing their little flips and not holding onto the tag rope and all this bullshit. And then you literally had the Pentagon portion of that promo that we played was essentially him saying that you guys need to be more aggressive, you guys need to be like tougher and edgier, and just, he literally said, "Be bastards like us." Right. And it's like, it's almost like it's so oddly meta, because the whole feud is based on you guys don't care enough about traditional wrestling, and then them being like, you guys are fucking boring.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not wrong in either account.
Yeah, it's funny, the whole first part of that interview I just played, that was a clip of the interview. I have the whole interview. Is them talking about how the Lucha Brothers don't follow the rules. But I could see the bald one walking back there and be like, "Listen here, Lucha House Party."
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sorry, wrong Mexicans. Wrong company.
That's right. I'm sorry. You're the wrong mask guys.
No, but I mean, like I said, we kind of shit on him a lot, but I do want to preface everything by saying this was it was a solid match. Actually, the wrestling on this show was pretty, like I said, top notch. Nothing to complain about in terms of the wrestling portion. But that whole fucking deal with the pickup truck, and to me, my whole question was, normally when something goes awry in WWE, for the most part, the camera crew is like queued up. They know something's fucked up, so they'll cut out real quick. Why the fuck did the camera focus on this shit for so far? It took them a fucking minute to pan back and go to commercial or go to something else. Like, what the fuck was the cameraman thinking? Like, did they think this was compelling TV? Watching these motherfuckers try to start up a pickup truck?
Hopefully the cameraman was laughing because he couldn't even get the key to turn. He couldn't even get the key to turn. Yeah, it was great. It was great. You could see the frustration on his face. Like, I can't start the truck.
And honestly, to Anthony's point, and I like we covered, Bobby didn't watch it, but like, Bobby, if you could just picture just like any kind of 80s or 90s slasher horror movie where they're trying to escape a killer and they're taking as long as humanly possible to get a fucking turn key into the car to escape, and all of a sudden, like, the killer shows up in front of their hood. Like, that's what I honest to God thought it was an angle because it was taking them so long. I thought somebody was going to be in the bed of the truck or somebody was going to jump them, pull them out or whatever. And it didn't even dawn on me that it was just them fucking up until they went to like commercial or the next segment. I forget which happened.
They went to commercial.
Yeah, they went.
I don't want to drag this out. I don't really have anything much of value to say, but when I hear them talk, speaking of commercial, like, close your eyes when you listen to them talk and tell me you don't picture like a local commercial for like a used auto lot, where they're promoting, like, you come to Ganley Auto and we'll make sure you leave in a car that's perfect for you. We'll body slam the competition.
Yeah. Come on down to old, Furniture Mart, and we'll send you some furniture. And look,
the green screen in the background.
You can sit on it. Yeah, you can sit on it anytime. Look at us, we're great. Hey, come on down, buy some carpet. Come on, it's comfy. Get naked on our carpet. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
get naked on
carpet.
They never need to speak, man. At best, they just need to be somebody's muscle. They never need to speak. For years, people have been comparing them to either Arn and Ole or Arn and Tully. Right now, they're in a company with Arn. Just stick them with Arn and let Arn do the talking. He's fucking amazing. He always has been.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea, but then I don't know. Then what's Cody gonna do, man? I mean, it's Cody. Christ,
he's got to beat somebody, and I know we talked about the possibility of Cornette and all that, but there's got to be somebody they can put them with.
I don't know. I don't care really. Let's just move on.
Me neither. Anyways,
getting fucking late.
We've already established that I don't care, so let's go.
We can carry this. We can carry this party on Friday night. Don't worry, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
I guess we can talk real quick about the Chris Jericho Inner Circle promo. They got juiced. They got juiced. Not a lot of people liking this Orange Cassidy Chris Jericho feud. I like it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I like Orange Cassidy too, so maybe that's got something to do with it.
Box, you should love it. 18 of what, 34? Is it 18 to 34, 18 to 49?
18 to 49. I mean, I'm right. We're all right in the demographic.
Yeah, we gotta love it. So we can't even shit on it.
No,
we're part of the demos. We're in the demos.
Absolutely. I guess it's only 16, 17, and 50 and 51-year-olds bitching about it. Obviously, that's what it is. But I don't know. I do see a lot of people actually complaining about how it's stupid. Orange. I didn't realize Orange Cassidy had so much hate until he showed up on AEW. A lot of Orange Cassidy hate out there. A lot of it.
It's like if I didn't know any better, I would say that somebody was purposely telling people to formulate an opinion about him. And there are certain people that never watched him wrestle before that formulated that opinion, like the little lapdogs.
Motherfucker.
and
you know, fuck my wife. Get out of here.
Fuck you. Yeah. And to kind of tie this segment into somebody we talked about earlier, so callback. Disco Inferno was actually, and he was probably trolling with this, but I still think it's hilarious. He was calling for a boycott of AEW over ratings discrimination. If you're over the age of 49, I guess AEW doesn't want to fuck with you because, you know, the demos, you see.
Oh my god!
That was hilarious. But this is what passes as news, folks. The headline of the article is Disco Inferno calls for AEW boycott over ratings discrimination.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I think it's a joke. So.
I hope it is. Please tell me it's a Ringside News article.
No, actually, no. It's from bleedingcool.com.
It's okay. There you go. That's fine. I'm done.
Speaking of an older demographic, like that, for some reason, this segment made me feel like a mom or a dad, just a parent, and you guys got the messenger text that I sent out. But like before this match, they had FTR poured the beer on Omega. And then right after this, they poured the orange juice all over Chris Jericho. They dumped it from like the sky, like WWE style, kind of. And like, so that was back-to-back segments of the ring just being covered in liquid. And I just, for some reason, my instinct wasn't, oh, hell yeah, that's cool that they did that to him. I just wrote back to you guys, that ring's going to be slippery as fuck.
Yeah. And they obviously changed the canvas before they came back. And I'm sure they probably weren't live anyway, so it didn't matter.
It says they were,
but
okay. Who knows? Because it was live like almost the entire time. I don't know if they there was a segment or two that was pre-taped and they tried to slide that in or whatever. But they're saying that they were live.
Oh well, good for them. All right, we got the Elite with Kenny Omega versus the Jurassic Express. I don't have a lot to say about this match. No. It was I'm dude, Marco Stunt looks like a fucking 12. I'm losing the interest in seeing him take the beating.
Yeah, see. And you wonder why we had to segue for so long. I mean, it's not too much to say. I mean, the Young Bucks weren't there. It was a Young Bucks match. The best I could say for the match is it had a lot of cool spots, minus Marco Stunt. And you had the end where it seems like they're kind of planting the seeds for an Omega heel turn, or at least a conflict of interest.
Well, according to Meltzer, there is a reason for the booking of Kenny Omega, and that's that supposedly he was supposed to do kind of a year where he put people over and was in tag teams and was kind of booked poorly. And then they were going to really give him a big push and push him and push him and push him after a year or two.
And who thought this was a good idea?
That I don't know. Again, this is according to Meltzer. So that's what... I'm not sure if this is Meltzer trying to cover up that Omega's really just not... When he's not having 50-minute matches with amazing opponents, he's not living up to what he's supposed to be, or if this is a true story that's what it was supposed to be.
Or as I pointed out to someone online the other day, when Omega's not cosplaying as a Capcom character or having 85-minute matches, he's really not. He's being exposed as not being all that special. I'm not trying to sit up here and say the guy's not talented in the ring, but as we've seen, regular ass Kenny Omega ain't it. I mean, he's had some nice tag matches. The match at Revolution, I stand by, was a fantastic match. Him and Paige against the Young Bucks probably is in contention for match of the year in the U.S. Fantastic fucking match. I stand by that. I won't take that away from him. But by and large, on the whole, he's been just another dude on a roster since AEW became a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's unfortunately according to Meltzer, that's by design, Anthony.
I think this is retroactive shit, but I'll let Meltzer, spin his yarns.
I would never sit here and say that Meltzer has an agenda. Obviously, I would never say that. Or that he's a paid AEW shill. I would never say that either.
Or what about the boss? Did we even talk about this?
What?
When he said something along the lines of AEW has the best, hands down, the best tag team division ever. Mind you, he basically he fucked the 80s, the 90s. The AEW has the best tag team division he ever saw, and I was actually waiting for you to go off on that tangent because it's just like he basically discounted the Rock and Rolls, Arn Tully, the Road Warriors, the Outlaws, Hart Foundation, any tag team. Fuck you. We got fucking the Young Bucks and we got Kenny Omega and Hangman Page.
Yeah, screw the fucking Rock and Roll Express, First Midnight Express, all those. No.
Road Warriors, the Road Warriors drew pennies compared to Young Bucks.
No, I mean the fucking, the Rock and Roll Express versus the Four Horsemen and all kinds of shit like that. No, none of that shit was good. It was all, it's all AEW. Oh my god, the guy's a fucking, Jesus Christ, a fucking asshole. We had the Mox promo, good promo. We don't really need to get into it. I'm not going to play it or anything. I got nothing to say on the Nightmare Sisters match. Really, nothing. The only thing stupid, ridiculous was Allie coming out with an apple with viruses stuck in it. Obviously,
is that what that was supposed to be? I knew it was an apple, but I didn't know the attachments were supposed to be involved.
Yes, those were little COVID viruses stuck in it.
It seems like poor taste, no?
Well, QT's got the COVID, so does DDP. Which, by the way, DDP basically outed QT. I don't know if he outed him, but that's kind of against HIPAA laws to do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It was kind of common. Well, I had known about it for a while, though, because it had been reported for a little while before DDP announced that he himself had COVID. Yeah. I guess that's what kind of outed QT, but it's been kind of common knowledge the last couple of weeks that he had it.
Yeah, and DDP, well, we were talking about it a little bit last night. I think you're right, Smark. He's in good shape. He's going to be just fine. I don't think he's going to have an issue. He'll fucking yoga that shit out of him, bro. He'll fucking bam that shit right out of him. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I do want to bring up on this show was Nyla Rose did introduce her new manager, and I don't think any of us would have guessed Vicky Guerrero as her new manager.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone? Did anyone even think that was a possibility?
No, but I'm actually optimistic about this one. I feel like that'll be it's a nice dynamic. It's a nice dynamic. You got the killer heel and Nyla, and you got the shit talking Vicky, kind of like, I feel like, it'll be like a good little mix. And plus, I'll be honest, man, maybe it's because she hasn't been around for a while, but I miss Vicky.
Yeah, and Vicky's good on the mic. I've never fucking discounted her for that because she really is. She's annoying as hell, but that's her fucking character, is to be annoying and scream and yell and kind of.
And Bob, the question was answered. I guess they let that whole trademark and excuse me lapse because she was saying that shit all over this broadcast.
Yeah, and I guess maybe she scooped that shit up. I don't know. Maybe they got one and just didn't mention it, which they probably shouldn't fucking poke the bear.
They are fucking geniuses, though. I got to give them credit because that theme song that she came out to was fucking phenomenal. Somebody, I don't know who makes their theme song, but apparently somebody got the idea to basically make like kind of a like electro techno dance music song with her catchphrase "excuse me" just like thrown in every couple of seconds, and like it's a lot better than I'm making it sound. Like it's gonna be stuck in my fucking head like the rest of the night. Like it was oddly fucking catchy.
Yeah, but I think this is gonna be a good pairing. Vicky's very good at what she does. She can go out there. She can be annoying. And she's very good at it. And Nyla, let's face it, she's not very good talking. So, go ahead, Smart, please.
I kind of disagree with that. Like every once in a while, it's like maybe not consistently good, but she'll come up with some gems every now and again. Like when I get hungry, I break bitches, and just like there was another one that I can't really remember at the moment. But like she's better talking than she is wrestling. So like that's kind of the thing. I guess they're just going to kind of accentuate that about her and give her Vicky to talk to and for and with to make it better, like how they're kind of doing, with Britt Baker and all that. But I mean, I guess you kind of have to do that because you can't have somebody come in and wrestle for her, which maybe they should, but it's going to do something.
Well, maybe now they'll be like the women's Brock Lesnar. She'll just, come in, take the mic, and say those little one-liners every now and then. That'd be perfect.
There you go. Yeah, perfect.
I'm not even gonna lie. Her delivery, her tone, that whole "I break bitches." That might be like one of my favorite. If AEW ever goes out of business or something, that'd be like one of my top 5 favorite lines, promo lines in the history of the company. It's just the way she said it, because she believed that shit. She looked right into the camera. I break bitches.
Yeah.
That was like.
No, sorry.
Yeah. And they almost fucked it up because they played Vicky's theme before they played Nyla's theme to bring Nyla out.
Oh, did they?
If you watch it again, like they super quick because they hit like the first like probably 3 or 4 seconds of the song. Luckily, she didn't get "Excuse Me" out yet in the song.
Yeah.
But they played that song first, and you just hurry up, like you damn near could hear a record skip. Which I mean, their music is digital, but somebody got fucking in trouble for that one.
Somebody mouse clicked quick. Yeah, I did hear the music. I thought they actually restarted Nyla's music again. So yeah, I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that at all. But all right, guys, let's get to this. And I mean, I really, if no one's asking us for a fucking Raw review in the chat room, so I think we should just fucking do this and get out of here. It's fucking late anyway. I mean, really, what do you got to say about Raw?
Oh, we can say it for Friday.
That they spent like multiple segments throughout the course of 3 or 4 weeks hyping up this fucking Big Show Randy Orton feud that's not even on their pay-per-view.
Yeah, you're right. We'll talk about it Friday.
Fucking stupid. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
All right. Main event, Jon Moxley, Brian Cage for the AEW World Title. I liked the match. Let me just say this. I don't like Taz throwing in the towel. Mm-hmm. That is already kind of tension. That should be tension. Why would you think your guy can't take the pain he's in? Why would you have any... I don't like it. I don't like it. I like Darby Allin coming in afterwards. I didn't like the way the match ended, though.
So let me ask you guys this. Do you think that they did a good job of cut? Because I wasn't too high on that either. Did you like the cover that they did of it on commentary, that Taz was protecting his investment more so than protecting Cage himself? Because he probably, in the back of Taz's mind, he's thinking like, oh shit, this guy's going to tap. And if he taps, that's my meal ticket down the drain.
All right, now you're going devil's advocate. I see where you're coming from there. I get it. But throwing in the towel just makes him look weak. I'm sorry. I think it... I would have liked to have seen something else, something different. I would have liked to have seen Darby come in and actually cause a DQ rather than see that. I just think it was a weak way to end the match and not have Cage tap out. Weak way.
My opinion, and I know they probably don't want to have Moxley lose the title in front of no fans, but considering how on fire Cage has been recently, especially with Taz cutting the promos for him, putting the FTW belt on him, I almost feel like, you guys might disagree, I almost feel like this match should have been booked along the lines of Cena and Lesnar. Remember that match where fucking Lesnar killed Cena for like 20-something minutes with Germans?
Uh-huh.
This match needed to be that. And Moxley, to me, is over enough to where he could have absorbed the loss. Because they pretty much protected this guy and booked him as strong as you can book a person since he came into the company.
Yeah, but they're not ready to take that fucking title off Moxley yet. They're just not, and I wouldn't either right now. Right now is a bad time. I think they're waiting till there's a crowd there to put that title on Brian Cage, and they should. I think that's the right move.
Then don't book the match then, because I feel like you got a guy like Cage. He's like a once in a lifetime type of performer with the shit he could do at the size that he is.
Yeah.
You don't just throw the towel on somebody like that. That's a guy. He just looks like somebody you would have to beat to the death, not somebody that would lose a match by the towel being thrown in on him. I just feel like if you feel like you're booked into that tight of a corner, don't book the fucking match yet.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I mean, we've seen rematches before. I guarantee this is going to be a fucking rematch down the line when we got fans back in the ring. But I mean, in the meantime, Darby Allin returned and attacked him with the skateboard. So Darby Allin versus Brian Cage to be a sort of filler. You know, that's kind of what they set up tonight. If you, I mean, obviously, you know that, and I know that. So I'm not that crazy about it because the size difference is ridiculous. But I guess we'll see how it turns out. I mean, I like Darby Allin. I like Brian Cage. It's going to be interesting though to see how the size difference between those two works out in the matches.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Smart.
I feel like that kind of creates another problem for them, though, because they clearly, and I don't blame them, and I think it's the right way to go, but they clearly want Darby Allin to be a star. And I don't think that you can go ahead and have him, you know, they showed him doing a couple of videos, like kind of during his time off while he was recovering, you know, and you can't build him up and then he makes his big return and you have him feud with Cage and then only for him to lose. I feel like, because I feel like then you just completely, you just blew his momentum right off the gate. So he's got to win theoretically, but then if you have him win, now you just had Cage lose 2 big matches right off the bat. And that completely fucks him over. And like, you need him, I think, to be, you know, a big star for the company. And it's just like the way that they have built their big men, like all of them, Cage, Swagger, Archer, like they've all looked really suspect. And like, I kind of get you don't want to be WWE where you have all these big men that they always win and they're like the focal point of the product or whatever. You don't want to be big beefy guy city, whatever the fuck. That's cool. But you also can't don't sign them then, I guess. But you can't have these guys come in and just look like total bitches all the time either.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, guys. That's all I got for tonight. We can save everything else till Friday. We'll keep the party going. I'll drink way more Friday night.
There you go. That boy.
Maybe
me too.
Yeah, I mean, I've already switched back to water, which is pretty sad. I don't fucking, for this show. But I don't know. We're actually hitting close to the 3.5 hour mark. And if we even try to go through Raw, we're going to be on for another 20, 30 minutes. And I don't even want to fucking do it. I'm ready to fucking go to bed. Let's go ahead and get this shit knocked out, gentlemen. Let me get the fucking music going and we will wrap this show up. Of course. Bobby, why don't you go ahead and start off and just tell them where they can find you, man.
All right, man. I can be found just about everywhere. I now have four different shows. And it's just incredible. I don't understand how this happens. I just like to listen to stuff and I just talk a lot these days. And I don't have to tell you where to find it. You people know how to find podcasts by now. Check out the Inhuman Experience. Me and my ace, Bobby Blades. We talk about the paranormal, strange and unexplained. That's released once a week. We also have a show with our friend Jay from Conspiracy Cafe, and this show is called Inhuman Cafe, where we talk about stuff other than paranormal, strange, and unexplained. We talk a lot about some of our experiences growing up. We talk about music, movies, comic books, whatever we feel like talking about. I am still involved with Saturday morning cartoons. That's morning with a U. Really enjoy that one. Check that one out, please. And I have a fourth one that I'm involved in, and I'm going to leave that one for Smart just because I like to hear him say it.
Thank you very much. Of course, once again, as ever, as always, it is time to talk about our friends at the Planet Raconteur podcast. That is the Planet Raconteur podcast with the aforementioned and aforepresent Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. What I've noticed, actually, real quick, to give you a chance to further plug your venture, I've noticed that you guys have started to break off the stories into their own little individual bite-sized listenable segments.
Yeah, that's I can't remember if Yuck or Dave came up with that idea, but I like it a lot. It keeps people with something to listen to and just a little something to focus on. And then there's also YouTube videos that Yuck has been putting his genius touch on. Man, Yuck is a production wizard, man. The dude is amazing. I've always known he was talented, but he does some amazing work with both audio and video. So yeah, man, check that out if you can on YouTube, if you can find it.
Definitely. And Dave Sincere, my trivia nemesis.
Dave is incredibly talented too. Oh, what I enjoyed, and I did watch that. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm not gonna talk forever, but I got a kick out of the fact that it was Dave from Texas versus Dave from Texas.
I posted in the chat room that it's like the Spider-Man meme where they're both pointing at each other.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to. I'll have to meet up with old Dave Sincere when these bars open back up. We'll go for a drink somewhere. But
he's a good dude. Good dude.
Seems like it, man. Definitely seems like it. Even though he whipped my ass. Fucking fixed shit. Anyway, check out the high marks anyway, guys. That's Cheeseman, Rojo, G-Wiz, and a bunch of other characters over there. Definitely a good time. Definitely want to check those guys out. Find them on the Metal Mint Network. That's Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check them out over there right here on Mixler. And Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Definitely want to check out Eric Doug. Thanks for joining us in the chat room for a while tonight, Doug. And his brother Daniel over there. And Steve Milan, really appreciate you sharing the show. Letterboxd.com/Steven Milan, 2 L's in Milan. He is now over 7,000 films reviewed. Definitely want to go check him out over there. And, of course, subscribe, rate, review. You can find us on Spreaker. You can definitely find us on YouTube and Facebook.com/DirtSheetDudes. Check us out there. iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. Go ahead, Anthony. Wrap it up.
Wrestling OD, Shaheem, check them out. NuclearHeatShop.com. Got a hell of a lot of good, awesome artwork out there. That's brand spanking new. Got a Sting piece that's fucking fantastic. Greg Muda, Rick Steamboat, whatever you need, he got it. Clothesline Media with the D for all of your t-shirt needs. Jason Clark, Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast, available on all of your usual podcast platforms. And Rantime with Ray. Ray is spelled R-A-E. Check her out on Anchor.fm. And also follow the YouTube companion show. And also, leave us a review. Tell us we suck. Tell us you love us. Just follow. Say you follow instructions. Leave a goddamn review. Helps us climb the charts. We would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. There you go. Bobby Anthem, appreciate you joining us. Mark, Anthony, hope you had a good birthday. And we will see everybody here back again Friday night. See y'all later. See ya.
Don't drink and entangle. Bad things happen.
Good PSA. Very good. All right. There you go, folks. Later.
It's all right. If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass home. Mom ain't the time, boss says to just look.